but Ukraine is still free.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky meets at the White House with the president and Vice President Kamala Harris on Thursday.
Fox's Jared Halpern, former President Trump vowing to settle the war in Ukraine.
We're stuck in that war unless I'm president. I'll get it done. I'll get it negotiated. I'll get out. We got to get out.
Criticizing the continued flow of U.S. aid to Ukraine, the U.S. does not have troops there. At a Georgia rally, Trump also proposing tax credits for U.S.-based manufacturers and a write-off for the cost of heavy machinery in the first year. Vice President Harris plans a speech on the economy tomorrow in Pennsylvania. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
You could get some rain. Partly sunny, 75 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. Some very scattered rain on radar. If you're getting some, consider yourself lucky. 60 is your low tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. Severe weather is on the table today, says Joe Neild with the National Weather Service.
We are in a marginal risk primarily from the Indy area eastward, mainly due to timing. We're going to have this low pressure system moving up into the northern part of the state. Cold front's going to be moving eastward along with that.
Neild says storms could produce some weak tornadoes. 3 tornadoes were confirmed by the National Weather Service to have touched down in Indiana Sunday night. Indiana Task Force 1 is heading to Florida to help as needed if Tropical Storm Helene causes any problems. That storm's expected to strengthen into a hurricane by the time it makes it to Florida from the Caribbean, which is likely to be on Thursday. The Indiana National Guard will be sending their troops to the Middle East. Kurt Darling reports.
It's part of what's called Operation Spartan Shield. First, the soldiers with the 38th Infantry Division will head to Texas, where they'll train for about a month. After that, it's off to the Middle East, where their mission is to strengthen defense relationships through leader engagements, multinational exercises, and response planning. Governor Holcomb and Adjutant General Dale Lyles will be speaking at a send-off at Camp Atterbury on Wednesday. Kurt Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
If you're one of the people partaking in those illegal street takeovers in town, it could cost you some cash. A new proposal being looked at by city leaders could wind up with fines of $250 for people taking part in any street trouble. They'd also have their car impounded for at least 30 days.
They could care less about $250. It's not hard for them to raise $250. You take their car away, they're going to be hurting.
Debbie Abell, who lives on the east side, doesn't think the proposal goes quite far enough, and it goes to a committee discussion Wednesday. And Colts head coach Shane Steichen is giving his defense plenty of credit in their team's win over Chicago last Sunday.
Stopping the run is a mentality, and those guys showed up and they played hard. They were fitting the holes, Zaire and EJ, at the linebacker spot, and the D-line, holding their gaps, and obviously on the perimeter, setting the edges.
Steichen on Colts Roundtable. Indianapolis looks to make it 2 straight dubs. They've got the Steelers on tap this Sunday. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Mortgage rates are down and creating more active buyers and sellers. You've been waiting. Now is a great time to sell your home before more homes flood the market, driving prices down. Maximize your home sale now with the market expert who delivers maximum money in less time, Mark Dietel. Perhaps you're worried about costly repairs or upgrades needed to sell your home. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Ray in Indianapolis had to say about working with Mark Dietel. I needed to move in a hurry, so I was out the door into a new home, but left with the big problem of selling my old home with 2 mortgage payments fast approaching. I heard Mark Dietel was the answer, and I heard right. I was ecstatic when Mark sold my home for the price I needed in 2 days on the market. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, Dietel.com. Tell him Rob sent you.
And with traffic on the 5s at 3:05. Good afternoon, Matt Bear.
Good afternoon, Harrison. Interstates look pretty good right now. A couple of slowdowns eastbound 465 from Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. And inbound 65 just a little bit tight right now from 21st Street to Meridian Pen. Traffic sponsored by Discover. Discover wants everyone to feel special. That's why they double all the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/credit card. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. And here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Rain will wrap up early this evening. We're left with mostly cloudy skies, a low down to 60. Wednesday, mostly cloudy, high of 75. Thursday, mostly cloudy, chance of rain late, a high of 80. I'm Wish TV Storm Tracking meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So, Hammer, you are a traditional day of voter.
Yes.
Would that be accurate in your description of your voting habits?
Yes, I look forward to it. It's like a part of my tradition, man. I like day of.
No mail-in voting. I don't know how. I don't know what the rules in Indiana are specifically. I don't think you can just mail in your vote willy-nilly, absentee. I think there has to be a process. I think there's some other states that are sort of lax in that, but go ahead.
I voted early once because we were going on a vacation in November. It was a couple of years back from midterms, but I did get my ballot in voting early.
And there's somewhere I'm going with this, and it's positive for the GOP. But what did you have to give a reason? Did you have to get approved, or did you just have to?
No, we went down to I think it was the city county building, and you can just early vote. Like the window was open.
Oh, you vote. Okay, you didn't do a mail-in vote.
Correct.
You did, okay.
I've never done mail-in, but I voted early once.
Early mail-in voting data, according to Fox News, is signaling some good news for the GOP. And this is considering the Democrats, as we all know, dominated in 2020 when we're talking about mail-in voting. So vote by mail data. I've got some data here. I've got some data. Do we say data or data?
Data.
In 3 key states showing the edge Democrats enjoyed in 2020 in terms of early mail-in voting has plummeted. According to this data, Democrats lead in vote by mail requests. These are, like I'm going to request an absentee vote. Like I'm not going to be here. I want to vote by mail. Those requests have shrunk by 5% in Florida, 15% in North Carolina, and 35% in Pennsylvania.
Okay, so devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
You have to take this with a grain of salt because all of those fake ballots had to be reprinted because Joe Biden was not the nominee anymore. They had to print a bunch of new pre-printed out Kamala Harris approved ballots, and I don't think we've got the numbers yet.
Hammer, I guess my point is, here's what my point is. The Democrats killed it in 2020 with mail-in voting and early voting, but not so much anymore. The Democrat-led, again, 5% in Florida, 50% drop in North Carolina, 35% drop in Pennsylvania. Kamala Harris holds a lead of less than 1 point in Pennsylvania. Trump holds a similar size lead in North Carolina, according to a Real Clear Politics polling average, which tells you what? The ground game is where it's at in these swing states that we always talk about. If Donald Trump can get North Carolina and Georgia, not to mention Pennsylvania, I'm not sure about Pennsylvania, then he has more than a puncher's chance. He has a very good chance at getting this election.
Nevada is also going to be key for Donald Trump because just like the Democrats always feel like this is the year we flip Texas, and they never do, Republicans always feel like this is the year we're going to flip Nevada, but they never do. But if you look at the polling and you look at the trends, Nevada picked a Republican governor, even though he's backed by a lot of the major casinos and had infinite wealth, it's still a Republican governor.
But traditionally, generally, as Republicans, they haven't been very good at what the Democrats have been great at over the past 2 to 4 years. Early voting, mail-in voting. And those numbers are starting to change. And Dems have been doing really well at that for years. So I'm just saying, a little good news to start this segment out.
We got a tweet here at Hammer and Nigel. when you're talking about mail-in votes, I think a big reason for the drop is COVID. Back in 2020, there were still some COVIDians that were afraid to go out, didn't want to be around people. Being in public freaked them out. They were believing everything they were hearing on CNN and MSNBC. That's not around this time.
Okay, but it also shows that Republicans are able to, I think, in a roundabout way, accept that early voting is a secure, and it's okay to vote like that. What have we been talking about with Tommy Pigott for the RNC? That's what the Republicans have been hammering home for months now. Early voting, mail-in voting, where it's legal, where it's acceptable, and all the other things that go along with that. And
when Jeff Boggs gets here, our guest, not Kenny Rogers, one of his things is election security. So in addition to making sure your side gets out and does some early voting, you have to make sure you've got poll workers, somebody to watch just in case, a pallet full of ballots arrive at 3 o'clock in the morning to take a deficit to a positive.
It's interesting to look at the bump or the non-bump. A little bit of a bump after Kamala Harris's debate with Donald Trump. No bump after the DNC. But watching Kamala Harris's surrogates speak for her, because she really has not sat down a few times here and there.
She tried to with Oprah, and it was a train wreck.
It was a train wreck. But I'm going to give you an example of Kamala's surrogates. They have no idea what to say. They don't know what to do because she has no policies. She's copy and pasted Biden's policies on her website, but when confronted directly with some of those policies, this clip on Fox News, maybe a little bit longer than I'd like to normally play. This is 60 seconds. Watch Kamala Harris. This isn't Kamala, this is her surrogate, implode when Sandra Smith asks her what Kamala's plan is to lower prices and rent prices and things like that.
What is Harris's plan? There's a lot of aspects to it in regards to looking at it online. So let's talk about lowering the grocery costs, because that's something that's brought up. The viewers can look at this online. She talks about certain things in regards to advancing the first federal ban on price gouging on food and groceries, to set clear rules to the road to make it clear that big corporations can't unfairly exploit consumers as well. Is that happening? Is that happening? It's not at this moment. No, this is her plan that's laid out for the first 100 days when she becomes president of the United States of America.
Is that
currently happening?
Is price gouging happening?
In regards to I don't know exactly if that's currently happening or not, because I'm not privy to that type of information. But there are people are costing a lot of money in regards to groceries. Okay. It seems like you're having a hard time articulating her plan. I'm not. Honestly, that's not true. Please, I'm constantly being interrupted by you, which, as a woman, I think is disrespectful. When I'm trying to speak, every time I try and speak, you speak over me. Okay. Final thought. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow.
I was giving you time there. All right.
And it's not like Sandra Smith is some flamethrower.
Of course, she was just trying to say, so is there price gouging going on right now between the grocery stores in the United States?
And her answer was, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know.
And so no wonder her supporters are having a hard time articulating Kamala Harris's economic plan. Listen to this. One more clip here. Kamala Harris was asked on NPR what she will do about the skyrocketing cost of housing in America. These are two people that you're not going to hear Kamala Harris, but you're going to hear two NPR reporters talking about an interview they did with Kamala Harris.
One other issue we're seeing across the country is concern over the lack of affordable housing. You asked Harris about that and asked her how to address the issue in Wisconsin. What did she say?
Well, I asked her this because Wisconsin is seeing a big jump in housing prices, and she said that she can relate to renters because she grew up with a mom who was a renter, and she was a teenager before her mother could afford to buy a home.
That was the answer to
That's
the
worse
question.
than I grew up in a middle-class family.
You interviewed Kamala, and you asked her about the rising rent price. It's like 20% plus in the United States. And the response was, well, I was interviewing her, and she said, yeah, my mom rented a house. We rented an apartment back in the day. Yeah, so I can identify. No wonder her surrogates are having a tough time trying to relate her policies.
Matt Baer, what's going on?
Southbound 65 stop and go traffic from 21st to Meridian Penn. And looking at eastbound 465 starting to slow Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by Discover. Discover wants everyone to feel special. That's why they double all the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year with cash back match. See terms at discover.com/credit card. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
I mean, wasn't that back and forth with those NPR chicks great? Like, so you interviewed Kamala. What did she say about the rent prices? Her response was, yeah, my mom rented for years. That was the answer from Kamala Harris when asked about that.
And the Sandra Smith one to me.
Yeah, sure.
After the surrogate gets called out on her bull crap for saying, I don't know.
Great.
Her crutch, if you will, is to go after Sandra Smith. How dare you do that to me? I'm a woman and you're a woman, and we're supposed to lie and help each other out. What? 76 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Man, we got a big show today. Trey Yingst of Fox News, one of the best in the business, covering the war in the Middle East. He's scheduled to join us a little bit after 4. Jeff Bogs will join us coming up in just a little bit. But coming up next, oh man, get ready for fun. We've got an update for you. Sean Diddy Combs, Puffy, P. Diddy, Nigel's guy that shunned him from a photo, which may have been the best thing that ever happened to you. We have an update next.
Yeah, I had my Window Nation windows installed a few years ago. They look great, and I remember they replaced an entire front house full of windows in a day, left my place cleaner than before the install. Here's one of their customers, Vicky. She says that she couldn't be happier with the product as well as the installers. Very kind, very professional, clearly very knowledgeable, and extremely respectful of their property. From start to finish, it was a great experience.
Now is the time to call Window Nation and at least get an estimate. Okay? Because this deal is going to save you thousands of dollars. And before the nasty cold weather moves in, you might want to think about making a change. Buy 2 windows, get 2 for free. No limit. Plus, 0 down, 0 interest, 0 payments for 24 months. Call Window Nation and schedule that estimate right now. 866-90-NATION. Or go to windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION. But you got to tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Hey, it's autumn, and if you want to hit the road here the last half of the year, don't exactly know what you want to do or where you want to go, you join AAA. As a member, you get free travel planning plus the best available pricing for your trip. And, of course, all the roadside assistance available.
AAA Hoosier Motor Club members get free travel planning help, plus discounts on hotels, cruises, rental cars, and more. AAA travel agents will make sure you get the best price on that fall vacation. Plus, if you run into trouble anywhere on the road this fall, AAA has you covered. Flat tire, dead battery, run out of gas, lock your keys in the car. AAA has got you 24/7, 365, no matter where you are. So if you're not a member right now, become a member today. You're going to be glad you did. 844-GO, AAA GO, or visit AAA.com or stop by your local AAA office. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Career holding the powerful accountable. As Indiana's Inspector General and Director of the State Ethics Commission, Cindy fought waste, fraud, and abuse wherever she found it. Cindy also combated wrongdoing in state government, which meant standing up and doing the right thing even if it wasn't popular. Now, as our state senator, Cindy Carrasco continues to fight on behalf of all Hoosiers by improving the quality of our children's education, providing tax relief for everyone, and working to make our communities safe by getting law enforcement the resources they need to fight crime, violence, and keep fentanyl away from our families. It's why Cindy has been endorsed by the Indiana Fraternal Order of Police, State Police Alliance, and the Professional Firefighters of Indiana. Because they know that Cindy has their back, and we know she has ours. Vote for more government transparency, better schools, lower taxes, and safer streets. Vote Cindy Carrasco for State Senate.
Paid for by Cindy for Senate.
Point! Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
Is your pet a digging enthusiast, an escape artist, or a counter surfer? Invisible Fence brand has you covered. For the wannabe landscaper, we've got a solution to keep them active but not destructive. For the escape artist, our personalized pet fences keep them safe and sound at home. Counter surfer? No problem. We know how to keep cheese thieves at bay. Invisible Fence brand. Tailor-made solutions for your pet, your yard, and your needs. Visit invisiblefence.com today.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard air dealer in Indianapolis.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
All right, Hammer, you tell me. Sean P. Diddy Combs. Many nicknames, by the way. Puffy, P. Diddy. Was Puffer ever a...
Well, he is now. Oh, come on. I got nothing out of that? Nothing?
I'm trying not to cough. That's
Come on. That's a quick, witty, topical pun.
P. Diddy arrested earlier this month, held without bail, charged with sex trafficking, racketeering, and many other, like engaging in prostitution, some ugly, ugly stuff. Where do you think, how do you think his streams, how do you think the sales of P. Diddy's songs, did they go down or up after his arrest?
Based on the twisted world we live in, I bet it's gone up.
It's really indicative of pop culture. His catalog saw a jump in streams, average of 18.3% increase in on-demand streams during the week of his arrest compared to the prior week, which his name was already in the news because he had had several of his homes raided and people that he was associated with arrested on similar charges. But ever since he was arrested and charged with sex trafficking, 18.3%.
You got to remember, we live in a society where women propose to death row inmates. They send their undergarments to death row inmates. So you can't be surprised if a scumbag like Puffy, P. Diddy, P. Papa Diddy, Sean Combs, whatever you want to call him.
Puffer. I like Puffer. I don't think that was ever legitimately a nickname, but I'll just...
Puffer. Excuse me, Puffer, can I get a pic?
Now, wait a minute. That's a callback to an incident I had back in Vegas. P. Diddy was with his entourage, and I had asked, hey, Diddy? I just called him Diddy. Diddy, can I have a pic, please? I had a digital camera with me, and he just, like, a record scratched. Everybody in the room, he looked, no. And that was it. But,
and you know what? That may have been the best thing that happened to you.
Maybe. Because I know there's a couple pictures floating out there of you with a certain Subway representative.
Right. There's a picture of me and Subway Jared.
Oh, no.
And on top of that, this happened over the weekend. I saw Pink, the singer, deleted all of her tweets. So if she's involved in this stuff, I got a pic with Pink, too.
Oh, no.
From ZPL when she came in.
What is the deal with them deleting tweets? With like everything, she deleted all her tweets.
So did Usher. Like, I don't know. Maybe they think they can stay one step ahead of the feds and nobody could bring up an old tweet. I don't know.
Tell me what you think of this. Allison, hit me with some mood music here, if you will.
She can't be that smart. Messing with you, she gon' get a broken heart.
Ever heard this?
I don't think I have.
Allison, are you familiar with the singer Jaguar Wright?
I am not. I kind of like it, though.
It's like a 15-year-old song.
It's new?
No, it's 15 years old.
Oh, I thought you meant for 15 years.
No. Whatever. It's got like 1 million views. So anyway, she had some shocking claims on some podcasts about one of Diddy's freak off tapes. Do we know about the freak offs?
So the freak off is what he would call some of his parties where just tons of debaucherous things would take place.
So this singer that you just heard, Jaguar, was talking about his own twin daughters, P. Diddy's own twin daughters, being used and sold.
Why would he sell his tapes on the dark net? He's selling it because he needs the cash. The last freak off tape that just got sold on the dark net, which I know because I monitor, went for $500 million. It had multiple stars in it. Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, Drake. It was a really interesting night in Calabasas, and he just sold that footage.
How come you think it doesn't get leaked to the public?
The dark net?
Yeah.
Because of the dark coin. Most people don't even know that the dark coin exists, but that's how they're trading for.
You can stop it. I don't know who this person is. I don't know how to get to the dark net. I don't know how to use the dark coin. But now, is it completely out of the realm of possibility that what this person is saying is somewhat true? Now, selling a videotape on the dark web for $500 million sounds ridiculous. Using dark coin, that's a new one to me.
Right. I have no idea what dark coin is.
But now that we know, what we do know, I mean, allegedly, does this sound, is there an ounce of you, Hammer, that is thinking, yeah, that sounds like it could happen?
Dude, I've been going down a rabbit hole of Diddy conspiracies, and I don't think you can rule anything out at this point. And maybe as a nation, and I can't believe we're going to say this, maybe we owe Justin Bieber an apology because he was an out-of-control, 20-year-old for a little while. But if all of these stories are true, and maybe he was passed back and forth to some of these celebrities, man, maybe we owe that kid an apology because it seems like now he's grown up and he's kind of a decent dude. He's settled down in his marriage, and I'm just wondering who all is going to take the fall on this thing.
It ain't going to be P. Diddy.
No.
He's going to cut a deal.
But who's the bigger fish, though? That's what's scary. Because if you think Diddy is the big fish here, but if he goes full Sammy the Bull Gravano, who's the bigger fish? Who's above him? That's what you have to think about. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, it's the Hammer and Nigel Show. We don't use anything other than American standard equipment. When it comes to your HVAC, when it comes to your air conditioning, your furnace, there's a reason why I use American standard equipment, because they're the best in the business. And we love the local, independent American Standard dealers right here in Central Indy.
Big Nige, how about Reinhardt Heating and Cooling in Danville? Danny Reinhardt started Reinhardt Heating and Cooling 38 years ago. They're one of the longest tenured American Standard dealers in all of Central Indy. Danny's sons and daughter are among the well-trained experts that are also on staff at Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, hooking up Hendricks and the surrounding counties. Make sure that furnace is ready and good to go for when the cold weather moves in. Call Reinhardt in Danville, 317-745-4526. Reinhardt Heating and Cooling in Danville. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Consumer warning. Stay away from stablecoin Tether. Tether is a cryptocurrency company with a so-called stablecoin called USDT. It's supposed to be backed one for one by the US dollar. But Tether's murky past exposes Americans to outsized risk, shady practices, false claims, legal entanglements, deliberate lack of transparency. The United Nations called Tether the preferred choice for regional cyber fraud operations and money launderers. Tether has never published an independent audit of its finances and operations. Financial rating company S&P gave Tether a high-risk rating, a major red flag. Warning. Owning a stablecoin that isn't independently audited comes with enormous risk. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Steer clear of stablecoin Tether. Visit tetherwarning.com to learn more. Paid for by Consumers Research.
Sweet chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It could cause some storms here. Partly cloudy, 77 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. A bit of scattered rain on radar, but not much. Low of 60 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:31. Forecasters are keeping an eye on a tropical storm in the Caribbean because it could bring some rain to your doorstep. Ryan Hedrick reports.
The storm will move north into the eastern Gulf of Mexico before reaching the Florida Panhandle Thursday.
And then brings it north into lower Ohio Valley by Friday evening, Saturday morning as a tropical remnant.
Joseph Neal from the National Weather Service says we saw the same thing happen a couple of weeks ago.
Unfortunately, we didn't get quite the rainfall that we might have otherwise gotten from that. The good news is this time models are a little bit more optimistic.
Neal says much of Indiana is in drought. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Melissa Parker gets a quarter century in prison for killing 3 teenage girls from Fishers while she was driving under the influence in a stolen car in South Carolina 3 years ago.
I wish she was going to stay there longer, but at least I feel better knowing that at least for the next 21 years she won't be out there able to hurt anybody else.
Breonna Foster, the only one to survive the crash other than Parker. Former President Donald Trump is talking tariffs for Mexican car exports to the U.S. while in Georgia today.
We will put a 100% tariff on every single car coming across the Mexican border and tell them the only way they'll get rid of that tariff is if they want to build a plant right here in the United States with you people operating that plant.
Trump's plan for the economy includes tax cuts for companies who do their manufacturing in-house rather than overseas. He's also in favor of fracking and natural gas industries. And the FBI needs some help finding a fugitive from Illinois. Here's Wes Woodward.
Abdul Muhammad, 31, of Des Plaines, Illinois, is wanted for his part in a scam involving the elderly, telling them to convert their savings and retirement accounts to cash and gold bars to provide those funds to law enforcement for protection. In one instance, an elderly man handed over gold bars outside a Westfield, Indiana Meijer store to Muhammad, who was posing as an FBI agent. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Muhammad is urged to contact the FBI. If convicted, Muhammad could face up to 60 years in federal prison. Wes Woodward, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:34.
Lynn just hates painting in the fall, so she called Rhino Shield.
It is a single-wide manufactured home. We moved from our home, which we had the Rhino Shield on. Rhino Shield was what we were going to do. That was no question. We knew we were going to do it.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating. It's not paint, it's better.
The Rhino Shield representative came, and we discussed what we wanted done. And this time, we had the roof done as well.
Formulated for our specific climate here in Indy and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty.
We truly believe in this product.
Now get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price. Plus, there's more great news. Rhino Shield is partnered with Green Sky Financing to offer no payments until 2026 for qualified buyers. Here's Rhino Shield Shane Smith.
Call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint. Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
With traffic at 3:35, here's Matt Baer.
Northside, Harrison, eastbound 465. Stop traffic from Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. Inbound 65. Stop and go traffic from 21st to Meridian Penn. And eastbound 70 slow from West Street to Meridian, Illinois. Looking at the southeast side, everything going southbound 465 from 74 to I-65. No problems right now as you enter that very narrow construction zone. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, and online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Rain will wrap up early this evening. We're left with mostly cloudy skies, a low down to 60. Wednesday, mostly cloudy, high of 75. Thursday, mostly cloudy, chance of rain late, a high of 80. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here with a very special in-studio guest.
Longtime writer for some of your favorite television programs, and he's a Hoosier on social media at Not Kenny Rogers. Jeff Bogs joins us. Jeff, what's up, man?
Hey, man, I'd be doing a lot better if Anthony Richardson wasn't less accurate than CNN, but I will manage, and I'm ready to go.
And we'll talk a little bit about your Hoosiers, man, because you got the jersey on, and we said this the last time you came in. You are one of 4 diehard Indiana football fans.
Okay. Who are the other 3?
Don Fisher.
Nice.
And then a couple dads of the team.
Excellent. Well, listen, I don't want to toot my own horn right away, but last week I guaranteed an undefeated season and a national championship. I'm doubling down. This week they play Maryland at Memorial Stadium, the greatest home field advantage in all of sports. The half-full stadium, it lulls the other team to sleep.
That's what it is.
It's genius.
Awful, yeah.
When they're expecting a full house and it's not, that's strategy.
It's psychological warfare. Genius.
I'm wondering what you thought of. You kind of switched. I gave you a copy of today's rundown.
I just looked at it, sorry.
And I'm just kind of wondering what you thought of the picture that I posted. This is a rundown of segment by segment what we're going to talk about, things, topics and stuff like that. And
I wondered what the picture was. Is that from Apocalypse Now?
Nige?
I've been dying to ask you when the first time you realized or somebody confronted you with the fact that your last name Boggs is the same name as the lead sister in Shawshank Redemption.
Yes, I'm aware of that. And I want to thank you for bringing that up.
I've met you several times now. You've been on the air with us several times, and I go, oh man, Boggs. He said, anybody come at you yet?
Yeah, it's a rough one. We tend to associate more with the Wade Boggs side of fame. The man who drank 30 beers on a flight from Boston to Seattle. So we tend to
vastly different than the Boggs that Nigel
Boggs,
wants you to be associated
with. The serial
with.
shower rapist in Shawshank Redemption's last name is Boggs.
Exactly.
I mean, my favorite part of that movie is where Andy Dufresne goes, I don't suppose it would help if I explained to him that I'm not a homosexual.
That's great.
I'm sorry. I just like Boggs. That movie is so good to me. It's such a great memory. And to meet somebody with the last name Boggs, that's the first thing that enters my mind. I'm sorry.
It's one of those interesting movies that came out of the gate, didn't do incredibly well.
No, you're right.
And has now turned into one of the biggest movies of all time. So
I feel that way about Revenge of the Nerds, too.
No, Revenge of the Nerds came out barely.
Because I felt like it became more of a cult classic a little bit later after VHS came into our lives.
Yeah, kind of like Swingers or, movies like that start small and get big. The whole thing comes down to what is TBS and TNT. What are they going to show nonstop? If you can get into that Castaway world where you're on every Saturday afternoon, then you're set. Shawshank is definitely one of those movies.
So let's pivot a little bit and focus on some big picture stuff here. We'll get back to jail rape here in just a little bit.
I hope you're not mad at me.
It's in the news. It is in the news, so it's fine.
Should Donald Trump do another debate?
Absolutely not. I don't see how he gains anything from doing another debate. I said last time, the only way I would even consider it is if Tucker Carlson was one of the moderators, for real. Otherwise, what does it matter? Did you see the Quinnipiac poll that came out an hour ago? It has Trump up 1 point, where this time last year, Biden was up 4 in the same poll. So I don't think Trump needs to do anything except for stay safe. And there's nothing that Kamala Harris could say. Do we need another 2 hours of, I was born in a middle-class family?
Absolutely
Sweet mother of God, no. Although our debate party was pretty fun. I had a lot of drinks, met a lot of awesome people. You took your shirt off.
We don't need to go revisit that.
Is there video? Have we found out? Is there video?
There's pictures. I have not seen video yet.
Okay.
There was, but they burned it.
Now, and to be fair, too, Trump is, neck and neck in swing states like North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Georgia, which the reason Kamala Harris wants to do a debate is because of bad internal polling.
Well, that's why she's going to the southern border, too.
Yes.
Whatever they're seeing with their own numbers is terrifying, because what we're seeing, all of these polls, and by the way, have you noticed polls popping up that you've never heard from before? It's like Gary's poll. And you're like, okay, I guess.
Who the hell is Gary?
Gary has Kamala up 6 in Pennsylvania. I don't know who Gary is. But there's all of these polls now. Interactive polls on Twitter is a great one to check. But even they are starting to add these polls that I've never heard of. It's the big 5. It's a New York Times Siena poll, Quinnipiac Rasmussen, a couple others. But who knows what the real numbers are? All I know is that the Democrat Party has to be terrified of something, because they're pivoting on everything.
Jeff Bogs joining us. So one thing that you've been talking about for a long time, I know you put it on your Twitter, we've had a conversation when you filled in for Nigel here, is election security. And Nigel had the story earlier that it sounds like mail-in voting is showing some signs of life for the Republicans.
Yeah.
But I know
or the lack thereof for the Democrats as well.
True. They're not as on fire as they were before. But election security is a big deal for you.
Yeah, guys, I have to be honest. Whenever I hear numbers are up for mail-in voting, who's counting those votes? That's all I care about. Yeah. When I hear that Georgia passes a law saying, okay, we're going to have to hand count all the ballots. Well, who's doing the hand counting? This really terrifies me. And I think it's so interesting. I think we've been trained as conservatives not to talk about it. I think that a lot of, big name conservatives refused to bring it up after 2020.
Because you were shamed, like you were called an election denier while they did the same thing.
And not even just that, it goes deeper than that. On sites like Twitter, you were shadow banned, if you talked about it. You were taken off the air. And so that's why a lot of the, I call them conservative incorporated, the people who didn't talk about election fraud were allowed to flourish, while a whole lot of people were absolutely killed online. So I think at this point, when, we're 42 days away, and they still haven't counted all the votes, from the last election, it's terrifying to me. And when I see Lara Trump, who I love, and I hope she's doing a great job, when she talks about 500 lawyers, 100,000 poll workers, how is that going to work? In detail, how is that going to work? Because if I'm Georgia and I'm like, listen, we're just going to yank suitcases out again and come up with our own number, well, how is a conservative poll worker going to step in and say, ooh, no, we're going to tell on you?
You need to have somebody willing to create a ruckus, if you will, because if you've got some passive little wiener there and here come these pallets full of ballots and they go, okay, that doesn't do anybody any good. But if you've got some red ass that's ready to just create a scene, and then maybe you could have bigger conversations.
Well, and I think like a guy like Scott Pressler, who goes by The Persistence on social media. That guy doesn't sleep. He's out there registering Amish people in Pennsylvania to vote. He's doing such a great job. And I think it's our duty. Someone in the GOP has to be the Scott Pressler for voter fraud. And has, what is the plan? I've noticed Trump speaking out a little more about it on social media. I've noticed Elon actually talking about it quite a bit. But man, there's so many people who won't even touch it. It's like a third rail topic. And all of this terrifies me, because you know what? The night of November 5th, when those ballots come in at 3 o'clock in the morning, what are we going to do about it?
You know what part of it is? I think it was the whole Dominion voting thing, the machines that got hacked or whatever, and there was never any evidence of that, and then there was billions of dollars paid out by Fox News and other corporations. Tucker Carlson got fired.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was direct correlation. Do you not agree?
I go both ways with that. First of all, can somebody show me receipts? Did Fox News really pay that money? Also, when we talk about Dominion voting, what about what happened in Puerto Rico 3 months ago? I mean, they're going to scrap the whole system because their entire election, the Dominion numbers did not match up with the actual voting numbers. Ooh. So again, it's just like, I think we're so passive in this. And I guarantee you, the audience out there listening right now, such a high percentage of them feel this way, that they're scared to death it's going to be yanked away from them yet again, and they're going to have to keep paying these record high prices, and the crime rate's going to soar, and man, we need people to do something about it.
Can you come back for one more break?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeff Boggs with us. Come on back. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Do you ever worry if you'll run out of money in retirement? If so, you're not alone. 70% of Americans fear running out of money in retirement more than they fear death itself. And now that Social Security is projected to run out of money in less than 10 years, going broke in retirement could be a very real threat. Learn the latest strategies that could help you avoid running out of money in retirement with a free analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy.
We know and trust Bill Demery, and you can too. So if you have saved more than $200,000, schedule that free analysis right now by calling 317-648-5120. The last thing you want is to be 80 years old, full of life, and flat broke. So call Bill Demery today, 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code EASY, or text EASY to 511-511 and claim 40% off. Roundhouseprovisions.com, code EASY.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text EASY to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Hey, Pat Sullivan here, letting you know that when you need plumbing help, call who I call, my friends at Hope Plumbing. During the month of September, Hope will take $100 off a $500 or more plumbing service. Sounds like a fantastic deal to me. So if you notice a water leak, a clogged drain, or have any other plumbing needs, big or small, Hope Plumbing can fix them all. Hope Plumbing, 641-HOPE. That's 641-HOPE.
Shane Company knows fine jewelry. That means a lot when you're looking for a dream engagement ring, a beautiful keepsake, or the perfect gift. Come see us in store and compare our wide selection of diamonds, rubies, and a rainbow of sapphires in different shapes and sizes. Create your dream engagement ring and browse our selection of fine jewelry gifts. From diamond studs, tennis bracelets, birthstone necklaces, and more. With our everyday competitive prices and unmatched free lifetime warranty, Shane Company knows how to work with your budget, not against it. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Sometimes it feels like it's next to impossible being a teenager these days.
There's so much uncertainty, pressure, and comparison.
That's why I'm so thankful to be a student athlete. I'm Lena Jones from Plymouth High School.
And I'm Whitman Horton from Crawfordsville High School. High school sports surround student athletes with people who can build us up when we struggle.
Our coaches mentor us in the game and in life.
Our teammates become our best friends as we work together.
We have support from everyone around us. Managers, parents, fans, our entire communities.
It really does take a village because they all contribute. They all make sacrifices. They all want to see us succeed.
Having people who have our back and believe in us lifts us up unlike anything else.
I am IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig. Be a champion of high school sports and the encouraging environment it provides by buying a ticket to your school's athletic events. This is supporting student athletes. This is believing in high schools. This is your IHSAA.
Give family a call for your family maintenance plan, 317-577-8077. Maintenance is crucial.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
Join WIBC for the Pop-Up Pickleball Social, presented by Franciscan Health. Swing by Craig Park in Greenwood this Saturday 9 till 4 for a full day of family fun featuring a pickleball clinic, celebrity matches, food trucks, raffle prizes, and more. All free and open to the public. Don't miss it.
Matt Bear, what's going on?
Looking at the north side, eastbound 465 crash clear. Right now, stopped traffic still from Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road, but the crash is gone. Front of the line is clearing out. Inbound 65 slows 21st to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 stop and go traffic from West Street to Meridian, Illinois on the south side. Eastbound 465 before I-69. That is a breakdown in the right lane, causing us to slow back to I-70. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now, we've got some sun, 76 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Jeff Bogs is here. Wrote some of your favorite TV shows, including some stuff for Letterman. And man, the off-the-air conversations we're having in here.
They're pretty good ones.
Right.
Pretty good ones.
Hey, big anniversary. 33 years ago today, Nirvana dropped Nevermind.
Wow. That's crazy that was 33 years ago.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember when that happened? It was like the whole world changed in a week. I was a guy who grew up on pop music, and I really liked pop music. This is embarrassing, but a year before Nevermind came out, I was at Deer Creek at a Milli Vanilli Tone Loc concert, and I loved it.
That's
I was
cool.
Like, I was like, oh, this is so
Nothing wrong with
cool.
that, especially Tone Loc.
I had a great time. And then Nirvana came out, and you're like, oh, wow, I got to be cooler, than that. And
I need some flannel in my life.
Just destroyed the hair band
suddenly
industry.
I was angry at my parents, you know what I mean? And it was just, it was that kind of thing. But I mean, you look back, Elvis, the Beatles, yes, they changed culture, but they kind of invented that culture. Nirvana came in and just flipped the script on everything. And so I was actually talking to Bret Michaels. He was Bret Michaels from Poison.
Friend of the show.
Yeah. A great guy. He was a judge for me on Nashville Star. And we were sitting there having a conversation. Nirvana came up. He goes, you know what? On Monday, we were one of the coolest bands in the world. On Tuesday, Nirvana came out with Nevermind. And by Friday, my band was irrelevant.
I mean, it's right.
Oh, wow.
If you think about it, it killed off hair band. But this is the question I have for you. And Nigel, I think I've asked you this as well. Let's say Kurt Cobain were alive today, right? Knowing how we've seen rappers go from being an NWA to hosting children's shows, would you see Kurt Cobain doing like Christmas albums now where he's wearing sweaters?
Oh, my goodness. You think about Kurt Cobain, and wouldn't this be the worst, Dancing with the Stars? It would just suck your soul out.
No.
But I think that Kurt, it's that weird thing where he died at 27, all the coolest people die at 27, and you're like, I wonder if he would have turned into a little more, kind of lamestream music.
Because Ice Cube literally wrote the lyrics saying, I'm the N-word you love to hate and F the police.
America KKK's most wanted.
And then he was hosting Are We There Yet Part 2.
Well, Biz Marquis on kids shows. He used to be on little kids shows.
Snoop Dogg. I thought I saw him on, what's the show or the music show where they turn around in the chair?
Oh, The Voice.
The Voice.
He was at the Olympics. He was America's
he was at the
mascot.
Olympics.
Can we double check that P. Diddy was never on Sesame Street? Please. Please.
Lord.
How many
hope
bottles
not.
of lube? One bottle of lube.
Oh, my God.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Apologies. Parents, sorry.
Before we let you get out of here, we got about a minute left. I may or may not have action on your Indiana Hoosiers this week.
Uh-oh.
I got it -6.5 covering in Bloomington against Maryland. Your thoughts?
Well, listen, again, I've guaranteed an undefeated season and national championship. The 6.5 scares me. I have it at 7 right now. But listen, last week I said, give me $35 trillion. I'll bet it on the Hoosiers and I'll solve the national debt by Saturday night. So again, I'm going to say, go with the Hoosiers. Give the 6.5 points. Everyone's going to be happy by the weekend.
There it is.
I like it. If somebody wants to reach out to you, have a conversation, how can they find you?
Honestly, just Twitter. I've been banned everywhere else.
At not Kenny Rogers.
That's it.
Because you're a lot of people, but you are not Kenny Rogers.
Exactly.
Jeff Boggs, thank you. Hey, coming up next, man, a guy that's one of the best in the business, Trey Yingst, reporter for Fox News. He has amazing coverage of this war in the Middle East. We'll have a conversation with him coming up. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
I'm pretty pumped to have Galaxy Concrete Coatings come back to my house. This time they're going to be going down into the basement and taking care of the concrete floor in my furnace room. They did such a great job on my garage. I said, I've got to have these guys out. By the way, my garage last year, I never thought it could look as good as it does. It was dirty, cracked, uneven, unmaintained, and in a day, Galaxy Concrete put this coating on that made it 4 times stronger, easy to clean, non-slippery surface. Manufacturer, by the way, just upgraded the warranty from 15 years to lifetime, and they do not use epoxy. That's the old stuff. They use what's called polyurea, which is the new standard for coating. So call Galaxy Concrete Coatings, 751-9070, or check out their website, see pictures, get a quote, galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
Earn, save, grow. It's time your money works harder and goes further with a Stockyards Bank and Trust CD. For a limited time, earn 5.15 annual percentage yield with our 5-month CD special. Proudly serving our communities since 1904. Visit any of our 5 Indianapolis area locations or syb.com/IndyCD today and experience the Stockyards Bank difference. $10,000 minimum balance required. Limited time offer. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Indiana Pathways for Aging helps Hoosier Medicaid members age 60 and over get support at no additional cost to live life their way.
Mom's Parkinson's is progressing, and Pathways provides in-home support so she can be with family every day.
Pathways coordinates Medicaid and Medicare services. I'm getting help with meals, personal care, and transportation.
One day, I might choose a nursing home, but today, I have options with Pathways.
To learn more, eligible members call 87 Pathway 4 or visit in.gov/pathways.
Hey, Donald Trump Jr. here. Central banks are buying gold at record amounts, and the trend is accelerating in 2024. They see the writing on the wall. The dollar is failing. Is gold the answer for you too? To find out, get a free info kit from Birch Gold Group by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to the number 989898 to get your free info kit from Birch Gold, the only gold company I trust right now.
Message and data rates may apply.
You need better water, really. Why don't you call C&J Water today for a free water analysis and see why you need better water? When you do, you'll get a 10% discount on all C&J Water products to improve your water quality today. For better skin and hair, you don't need a different shampoo, detergent, or lotion. You need better water. Now's a great time to upgrade. Call C&J Water for great systems and great people too. 317-733-SOFT. That's 317-733-SOFT.
The hot summer and the hot deals are coming at Tom Roush Lincoln. 0% for 60 months is back. Get 0% APR for 60 months on every new 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Plus get an additional $4,000 off MSRP. You can also take $3,000 off every new 2024 Lincoln Corsair 70 available. So get in here for one of those hot summer deals at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
For well-qualified buyers with approved credit. Not all buyers will qualify. Taxes and dealer fees extra. Stock number L24401. MSRP 107,425. Stock number L24284. MSRP is 43,435. See dealer for complete details.
Don't stress about plumbing repairs. Call LD Smith for honest advice and a free second opinion on any estimate.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first. And then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Would you recognize it and report it? These folks did.
My landlord said rent will be cheaper if we're friends with benefits.
Because I'm legally blind, a landlord questioned whether I'd be capable.
Your local news coming up in 2 minutes after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis.
I'm Lisa Brady. Fox News. The Justice Department's antitrust case accuses the financial services giant of using its size and dominance to stifle competition in the debit card market, penalizing merchants and banks who don't use Visa's own payment processing technology to process transactions.
We allege that to maintain this monopoly power, Visa deploys a web of unlawful anti-competitive agreements to penalize merchants and banks for using competing payment networks.
Attorney General Merrick Garland says the suit claims Visa's power allows fees far greater than what it could charge in a competitive market, and merchants and banks then pass costs on to consumers, affecting the price of nearly everything. Visa has previously acknowledged a Justice Department investigation and said it was cooperating. A cybersecurity executive lands on the Capitol Hill Grill at a hearing over a widespread outage.
A CrowdStrike senior vice president, Adam Myers, began with an apology for the July 19th outage that crashed systems, canceled flights, and medical procedures worldwide. He also pledged,
"We are determined to prevent this from ever happening again."
Chair of the House Homeland Security Subcommittee on Cybersecurity and Infrastructure, Andrew Garbarino of New York, said the internal outage makes one consider.
Routine update could cause this level of disruption. Just imagine what a skill-determined nation-state actor could do.
Estimates show about 8.5 million devices globally were affected by the faulty update.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Former President Trump proposing tax breaks for U.S.-based manufacturers.
The centerpiece of my plan is for a manufacturing renaissance, which will be a 15% made in America tax rate.
Rallying in Georgia today, while Vice President Harris plans an economic speech tomorrow in Pennsylvania. The Dow up 83 points at the bell, another record close. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It didn't help all that much. 76 degrees, partly cloudy downtown, some scattered light rain north of 465. Low of 60 expected tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 402. Yesterday's rain didn't do much for drought conditions in the state.
We are very dry for the month here, depending on where you are, inch or two below normal, even with the beneficial rainfall that we've seen here in the last couple of days.
Joe Neild with the National Weather Service says Tropical Storm Helene could help bring some much-needed rain to the state. That storm, though, not expected to reach Florida until Thursday, so you'll have to wait at least a few days. Indiana Task Force One's already headed to Florida, trying to get there ahead of the storm so they can help out if needed. Helene could strengthen into a hurricane by the time it reaches U.S. soil. At a $250 fine, your car impounded for at least a month. That could be a possible punishment if you're involved in street takeovers in Indianapolis. The Indy City County Council brought up the proposal last night. East Sider Debbie Abell would like some harsher punishments.
They could care less about $250. It's not hard for them to raise $250. You take their car away, they're going to be hurting.
That proposal is going to be discussed by a committee Wednesday. 600 National Guard soldiers from Indiana will soon be deployed to the Middle East. Here's Kurt Darling.
It's called Operation Spartan Shield, a mission to strengthen defense relationships through leader engagements and multinational exercises. That's according to the Indiana National Guard, who will be sending the soldiers with the 38th Infantry Division to Texas first to train, and by November they'll head to the Middle East. A send-off will be held on Wednesday at Camp Atterbury. Kurt Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Defense was the big reason why the Colts wound up victorious against the Chicago Bears Sunday, says head coach Shane Steichen.
Stopping the run is a mentality, and those guys showed up and they played hard. They were fitting the holes, Zaire and EJ, at the linebacker spot, and the D-line, holding their gaps, and obviously on the perimeter, setting the edges.
Steichen on Colts Roundtable. They've got the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers next. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
After college, Mike Braun could have gone anywhere. He chose to move back to his hometown of Jasper, Indiana. There, he started a small business, kept his head down, worked hard, and turned his small business into a national company, employing thousands of Hoosiers. He'll use that same determination for us. Lead the charge on lowering the price of gas, groceries, energy. Take on the big healthcare companies to increase healthcare access and lower costs. And Mike will improve education across our state by increasing school choice. Mike will make our streets safer, back the blue, and stop illegal immigration if the federal government won't. Because Braun believes every Hoosier should be safe and secure in their community. As governor, Braun will continue working for Hoosiers. Because when you're Mike, working hard is just what you do. Mike Braun, governor. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
With traffic on the 5s at 405, here's Matt Baer.
Inbound 65 stop and go from MLK to Meridian Ped. Eastbound 70 stop and go traffic Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. Northeast side eastbound 465 loaded Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. Crash on the east side 21st Street east to Post Road at Yorkshire Court. And report of somebody getting hit by a car north of downtown. This is Capitol Avenue near Fall Creek Parkway. Traffic sponsored by Indeed.com. Make the hiring process work for you. With Indeed's end-to-end hiring solution, you could attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Start at Indeed.com/credit. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. And I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Hammer right over there with a very special guest on the hotline.
Trey Yingst is the Fox News war correspondent. He has an amazing new book out called Black Saturday, an unfiltered account of the October 7th attack on Israel and the war in Gaza. And Trey, I'm not just saying this because we've got you on the show. Nobody has brought better coverage of what's going on in this war than you have. So hopefully you're safe, and thank you for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me.
Take me through the early stages of this war, Trey, because I remember watching some video of you, your camera crew, having to walk through some of these homes in Israel where absolute carnage has taken place. Walk me through what that does to somebody.
Yeah, almost a year ago, my team and I responded to this breaking news, and at first we didn't quite understand what was happening. We saw there was a rocket attack against Israel on the morning of October 7th, and so we did what we always do, head to the Gaza border and start reporting. And it wasn't until later in the day that we figured out this was a massacre of the civilian population, that militants crossed from Gaza and went into these communities referred to as kibbutzim along the Gaza border, and we went into these areas to tell the story to our viewers, and that's why I wrote Black Saturday, to ensure that readers for years to come would be able to look back on what is a very uncomfortable and horrific story, but it's an important story to tell and to remember. And so going into these areas is incredibly difficult. It was hard being there with our team amid the fire that was still incoming at the time, but we have a job to do, and that's part of our work as war correspondents in the Middle East, to tell these stories and make sure our readers and viewers know what's happening.
Trey, I mean, you were in Ukraine as well with the attacks from Russia. You were in Israel, in the Gaza, in the Hamas. Did you ever at any time, this is almost a low-hanging fruit type of question, but you had to have felt that at times your life was in danger as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I'm used to it, but it doesn't make it any less scary. I was on the ground in Ukraine the night the Russians invaded. I was in Afghanistan after the Taliban took over, in southern Israel on the morning of October 7th. I've been there as history unfolds. But it's still quite difficult to operate in these environments because there are real-time threats. And, you know, these threats don't just disappear. The war in the Middle East is still ongoing today. As I'm talking to the two of you, I'm looking out over the port city of Haifa in northern Israel. And earlier today, I was watching Israeli fighter jets fly overhead toward the Lebanon border as rockets were incoming, launched by Hezbollah and intercepted by Israel's missile defense system, the Iron Dome. So this is an everyday occurrence in this part of the world. And you do adjust to it in some capacity, but there are certainly moments, whether it's on the ground while we're embedded with the Israeli army inside Gaza or in somewhere like Ukraine or Afghanistan, where it gets a little dicey. But, you know, we're focused on the mission to get this story out.
Trey, do the locals know exactly what is going on? Because I know over here in the United States, you've got protests on college campuses. Everybody is doing their thing over here. What's it like when you talk to the locals over there?
I think there's often a disconnect with people in the United States and around the world about what's actually happening on the ground, but more importantly, what the opinions and stances are of the people involved in this conflict and others. And that's part of my role as a journalist, to cut through the noise, to cut through the politics and the opinions and get to the facts about what people believe and why they do what they do. And that's why in my new book, Black Saturday, and in my reporting every day on Fox, I talk to everyone involved. I speak with Israelis. I speak with Palestinians. I speak with doctors, with journalists, with the defense minister of Israel, with senior Hamas leadership, because my goal is not to take a side. It's to get a better understanding of what's happening on the ground and why people operate in the way that they do. And so I think that oftentimes you see these demonstrations in the United States, and I look at them as someone who has covered this region for the past 10 years of my life. The first time I ever went into Gaza, I was 20 years old. And I think that a lot of it is a lack of education of what's happening on the ground. And again, that's part of my role as a journalist, is to educate people and help people understand that at the core of all of this, it's human behavior. People are doing what they do for a reason, good, bad. Anyone who is involved in this conflict or others, they're all human, and they're doing what they do for a reason. And that's part of what I do. I dig into that and try to tell those stories.
Fox News war correspondent Trey Yingst here on the Hammer and Nigel show. The new book, Black Saturday, an unfiltered account of October 7th, the attack on Israel and the war in Gaza. Trey, there's so many places we could go, and I know we only have you for a limited amount of time. When do you get to come home to the United States? How long are those breaks? When do you go back? Like, how does that schedule work?
I'll tell you an interesting story that is quite fresh in my mind. I was in the United States yesterday. I was in New York City and planned to be there for a couple weeks talking about Black Saturday, this upcoming book that releases on October 1st. And, you know, there's a lot of buildup to this moment because this is a story that I really put my heart and soul into, talking with people who experienced horrific things. And I was looking forward to doing that. But then, as we all saw, this breaking news over the weekend with the Israelis ramping up their attacks against Hezbollah ramping up rocket fire into Israel that started actually just a day after Black Saturday on October 8th. And so I had to get back to work. And so I took the first flight that I could. I took off the suit and tie, got into my jeans and a T-shirt, and now I'm in Haifa in northern Israel watching this unfold. So I try to get home as much as I can. I'm from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I've got some family in Tennessee, try to visit them when I can. But my goal in life right now is truly to be the top war correspondent in the world. And so I'm really devoted to this craft and what I do, and I love the industry, and I love talking to people and getting a better understanding of the humans involved in these conflicts.
And Trey, something that's happened recently was wild to me. Now, I admit I am not a war correspondent. I don't see this stuff every day like you do. But when we heard the story of the exploding pagers and then the story of the exploding walkie-talkies, that seemed like some next-level Jason Bourne type stuff.
Absolutely. This was a major intelligence success for the Israelis. Objectively, this was something that clearly took years of planning to execute. And it's also an operation that we've just never seen done in history in terms of an electronic Trojan horse. The Israelis, according to reports, built a shell company in Europe. They were able to actually sell these types of devices to legitimate businesses and countries, and then ultimately ensure that some of them made their way into Lebanon, into the hands of this Iran-backed group Hezbollah. So clearly a lot of moving parts to the story. We'll continue to find out more information about how exactly that happened, but much of it will remain classified. It is really interesting, though, when you think about the context of how that operation took place, because you think about the strategic patience. I mean, this has been going on for almost a year. The Israelis had the ability to do this months ago, and they didn't. And so there are questions about why now.
And in terms of Israel, the Israeli response to Hezbollah, the bombings in the north in Lebanon, Israel has basically said, yeah, we are not backing down. They've doubled down almost, have they not?
Absolutely. The new position of the Israeli military and government is to try and force Hezbollah into an agreement. And that agreement would look like moving back from the border with Israel and building basically a buffer zone between Lebanon and Israel to ensure that there aren't rocket attacks and anti-tank guided missiles being fired into this country, and ultimately to allow the displaced Israelis, tens of thousands of them who have been out of their homes since mid-October, to return home. And so the new position is to try and force Hezbollah into an agreement. But the real concern here is that we're on a precipice. This is looking more and more likely that it will expand into a broader regional war. And there are already really third-party objective analysts, think tanks in Washington, D.C., who are calling this the third Lebanon war because they say, look, the exchange of fire and the amount of airstrikes and the people that were killed just this weekend in Lebanon, these are all indications that this has expanded much beyond what it was just a week ago. And so we'll have to continue and follow these developments on the ground, but there are real serious consequences to what's happening right now. And when we think about all the parties involved, especially the Iranians, who are the main backer of this group Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, it raises questions about if Iran could use this as an opportunity to attack Israel. And it's part of the Israeli response and posture to remain on high alert. And that's why not only are they attacking offensively in southern Lebanon and deeper into Lebanon against these Hezbollah positions, but they also have their air defense on high alert across the country, fearing a possible Iranian attack.
Trey, last thing here before we let you go. Again, we're speaking with Trey Yingst of Fox News, their war correspondent. Fascinating new book, Black Saturday, the unfiltered account of October 7th, the attack on Israel and the war in Gaza. Trey, when you're putting a book like this together, take me through the thought process of what to put in and what to leave out.
Black Saturday is a book like no other, truly. You will hear in Black Saturday from Israeli officials who are making the decisions about the war that is still unfolding as we speak. You'll hear from Hamas officials. You'll hear from Palestinian civilians, from Israeli civilians, from hostages who were taken into Gaza on October 7th and then later released as part of the November ceasefire deal. You'll hear from Palestinian journalists, people who were on the inside of this story, to really get a full understanding of what took place on that morning and in the 2 months after leading up to that first ceasefire deal. And then also you're getting a behind-the-scenes look at my story, responding that day, not knowing what was happening in southern Israel, and then trying to get this story out to the world. And so the process was intricate. It involved what I do, I think, best, which is talking to people and gathering information and stories about others, and then weaving those stories together into a book that people who have read it so far, friends and family, say they don't want to put it down because it's something that you're going to want to read and learn more about, especially given that the one-year anniversary of the October 7th attack is coming up just next month. And so as we look at this situation here, I would just encourage people to pre-order Black Saturday, get your copy of the book, and let me know what you think about it. Because, again, it's a book about humans. It's a book about the people involved in this story. And so the process is intricate, but ultimately the product is something that I think will educate and inform people about what took place on that really dark day last October.
And we've got a link to it on our Twitter right now, at Hammer and Nigel. Black Saturday by Trey Yingst of Fox News. Trey, keep kicking ass over there, man. Great coverage, and thank you so much for joining us here in Indy.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
Down. It is a traffic hazard on southbound 65 before the north split. It's blocking the right lane, causing stop-and-go traffic back to MLK. Eastbound 70 stop-and-go from Belmont to the south split. Looking at the north side, eastbound 465 stop-and-go from Westfield Boulevard over to the White River. And on the west side now, a crash just reported. Looking at it, northbound 465 at the 74 Crawfordsville Road interchange. This is a mess. We have three left lanes blocked, and the right shoulder also covered. Traffic carefully moving through the middle of this crash site with traffic stop and go back to Crawfordsville Road. Traffic is sponsored by Meekum Auctions. Meekum Auctions returns to the Indiana State Fairgrounds October 3rd to the 5th with 1,000 muscle cars, classics, Corvettes, trucks, and more. Register to bid and buy spectator tickets at Meekum.com. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Man, how good is that dude?
Trey Yingst, Fox News war correspondent, 31 years old. Hammer. He was there for Afghanistan, for the attacks in Israel, for the Russian invasion in Ukraine. So, I mean, he's been doing it since he was 20.
And he's the best.
Man, what were you doing at 30 years old? I mean, you had started a family, right? By then, were your kid boys? Okay, I hadn't even had kids until 6 years after that. I was still partying. And this guy is the top war correspondent in the world right now.
And that book looks amazing.
It does.
So you can check that out. The book, again, Black Saturday. It's going to be available October 1st. We've got a link on our Twitter. If you like interviews like that, if you like the Hammer and Nigel show, give us a like on the YouTube channel right now. Go to WIBC's YouTube page and just give us a thumbs up. Click like. We're supposed to have 100 likes because if we don't, Nick from the digital department comes in here and starts throwing orange barrels at us like those people doing the street closures in Indy. So please, for the love of God, hit that like button on the Hammer and Nigel Show YouTube stream from WIBC. Coming up next, is this anything?
Need a new work truck? Need a new fleet vehicle? Andy Moore Ford has got you covered. Over 800 new vehicles available on the lot, including the Super Duty trucks available starting only at $43,995. You've got F-150s, transit vans, the custom work vehicles for any industry, all built Ford tough, and Rangers with that all-new body style from only $36,995. And of course, you want the cool, fun stuff. They've got the Broncos, the Bronco Sports. I'm driving a Bronco. I own a Bronco Sport. And interest rates as low as 0% APR available on new Andy Moore Fords. And when you need service, Andy Moore Ford will come to you. Just schedule it online at andymoreford.com. They'll come pick up the vehicle, service it, and bring it back to you as good as new. Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. Visit them on Main Street. Tell them Tony Cat sent you, or find them online at andymoreford.com. That's Andy Moore Ford, M-O-H-R.
I love Andy.
andymoreford.com.
As summer fades and the cool breeze of fall sets in, it's the perfect time to get back to the basics, especially when it comes to your financial future. At Howard Bailey Financial, we believe in simplifying your retirement plan. Our team of advisors help you build a customized retirement strategy that is designed to help reduce risk, increase income, and mitigate tax. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your plan, we're here to guide you every step of the way. It's never too early or too late to make sure your financial future is secure. Text BASICS to 888-494-5004 to download your complimentary retirement planning toolkit today. That's BASICS to 888-494-5004. Howard Bailey Financial. Back to the basics. Forward to your future. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Pat Sullivan here for Hope Plumbing. For 17 years, my friends at Hope Plumbing have treated homes like their very own. With local owners who care deeply about this community, they put your health and safety at the forefront of their business. That's why when I need plumbing help, no matter how big or small, I only call Hope Plumbing. They care about you and your family, which is why I believe they're the very best place to take your plumbing problems. Give them a call at 641-HOPE. That's 641-HOPE or hopeplumbing.com.
At Shane Company, we make finding your perfect engagement ring fun and easy. Because let's be honest, you might feel a little stressed out. We get it. That's why we do all the hard stuff. It's our job to bring you the biggest selection of beautiful diamonds and colorful gemstones, so many amazing settings, and all the customization your heart desires. We've got your style and your price range covered, and we're here to guide you every step of the way. Come in for a warm welcome and leave with your dream ring and an experience you'll never forget. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hey, Donald Trump Jr. here. Central banks are buying gold at record amounts, and the trend is accelerating in 2024. They see the writing on the wall. The dollar is failing. Is gold the answer for you too? To find out, get a free info kit from Birch Gold Group by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to the number 989898 to get your free info kit from Birch Gold, the only gold company I trust right now.
Message and data rates may apply.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard air dealer in Indianapolis.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Big Nige, is this anything? A woman in South Carolina says she's done with CrossFit.
Oh, no.
She's done. No more.
Usually I only hear from people that have just started CrossFit. Hey, I'm in CrossFit.
This woman is tapping out because she claims she worked out so hard, her arms basically exploded.
Oh, dear Lord. She doesn't have any arms?
Something called Rhabdo, RHABDO.
Okay.
I don't even know if I'm saying this right, but it's where your muscles get so damaged and cells die, it can cause kidney failure and even kill you.
Good Lord.
Here's Jessica talking about her experience.
The next day when I woke up, I was really, really sore and my arms were swollen. And I thought that I was just super sore because I haven't done upper body in a while. And I especially haven't done pull-ups in a while. Like, it's been a couple years. My issue was my arms. They were so swollen. I couldn't straighten out my arms all week. And my hands and fingers were starting to go numb on Friday and tingling, so that's why Saturday morning I went to urgent care and they immediately just sent me to the ER.
Yeah, see, with those kinds of things, man, you got to take it easy. If you haven't ever done CrossFit before, you don't go all out the first time. I guarantee this kind of stuff doesn't happen with Exercise Inc.
Thank you very much. Damn
all
right.
Once a week for 20 minutes. It's what I do. I'm thinking about doubling up to going twice a week.
Double up.
But CrossFit, holy God. I remember doing it probably 10 years ago, maybe, somewhere in Zionsville. And it's just, it's all out for an hour nonstop. And the coach, like, there's really nobody there to tell you to slow it down, or it's just you keep going. And then if you don't keep up with people, you feel inadequate. And it's like you gotta modify, as they say.
Right.
When you're doing these exercises, a buddy of mine in my neighborhood invited me to go to something with him, like called F3. And I've done it a couple times, but man, you saw me walking around in here after, like, you meet up at 5:30 and you meet up in these parking lots at 5:30 in the morning. You do these calisthenics and burpees and push-ups and sit-ups and run and you do it nonstop for 45. You gotta modify.
You look like you played in an NFL game. Like you're walking around hunched over, like.
And I love the camaraderie and everything about it, but it was just, you gotta go at your own pace, from what I understand, in these things. And I wasn't going at my own pace. I was doing everything I could to keep up. Now, CrossFit and what I was just talking about are two completely different things, F3. But, yeah, be careful. Arms exploding, Exercise Inc., you're not going to have that problem. You're going to build muscle. You're going to lose weight. Give them a try. 5 locations. ExerciseInc.com.
So we got a little dealer's choice here. We got time for one more story,
All right.
Nige. Do you want to talk about bulls escaping from a rodeo in Massachusetts, or Chargers star Joey Bosa talking about getting in the cold tub with Jim Harbaugh?
You got to go with Bosa, right? He's a linebacker?
All right. So the Chargers linebacker Joey Bosa, one of the best in the league, was doing an interview recently and stated that his new head coach, Jim Harbaugh, gets in the training room cold tub with all of his clothes on.
I don't know why this is relatable, but now he's been hitting the cold tub and he just gets in full outfit.
No!
Shirt still tucked in.
No!
And he's just sitting there. Just sitting there. He's like, hey.
No, does he, Joe, does he have khakis in the damn cold tub?
Belt, khakis. I'm sorry, Coach. I'm like, Coach, do those khakis, they keep a little warmth in there?
Bro, yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of counterintuitive. You'd think a football guy like him would be like, I want to feel the cold.
But naked.
Yeah, no, maybe he does that just so he doesn't talk himself out of it getting undressed. I know a couple of people that do it. There's places in Carmel where you go to these cold tubs, and there's facilities. My wife's done it a couple of times with our friends Brian and Amanda. It's exhilarating from what I hear. I ain't trying it. But getting in with your clothes on would almost seem you would get colder getting out than you would if you were naked.
But isn't it colder taking that stuff off? Because you can't go home with that like that.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah, you might as well get in your skivvies.
Right.
But he's rushing. He doesn't want to talk himself out of it. Just get in it. Just do it.
Oh, come on. Jim Harbaugh is football guy,
True.
right? You played, you've coached,
That's
you're
how
a
hard this
football
stuff
guy.
is. That's how hard this stuff is.
No, thank you. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
All about American Standard equipment, my HVAC stuff, furnace. And I only use American Standard dealers, one of those great, homegrown, family-oriented Central Indiana American Standard dealers is
Family Heating and Air, the Morris family and their staff ready to help you out this fall and into the winter. You could call Rachel, Marcus, or Malia today to make sure that furnace is safe and ready to go for when that cold weather starts to move in. Family Heating and Air always encourages you to call them for a free second opinion if you've already got a quote from somebody else. If something seems a little off about your quote, call Family because nobody takes care of you like family. 317-577-8077. Family Heating and Air, 577-8077. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
Are you concerned about rising property taxes? My name is Donald Rainwater, Libertarian candidate for governor. My plan would limit your property taxes to 1% of the purchase price of your property. It would never increase, and it would end once you've paid for 7 years. To learn more about my plan to make Indiana government less taxing, go to rainwaterforindiana.com and watch the televised gubernatorial debates this October. My name is Donald Rainwater, and I approve this message, paid for by Rainwater for Indiana.
Truck drivers, it's time to drive for a company that values your time. At Midwest Logistics Systems, you'll get home every day and have a predictable Monday through Friday schedule with occasional Saturdays. Plus, you'll enjoy the convenience of driving out and back routes and hauling no-touch, mostly drop-and-hook freight. MLS drivers also earn performance and safety bonuses and have access to a comprehensive benefits package. Explore our selection of local dedicated driving jobs and apply today at MidwestLogisticsSystems.com.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers' rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What they're keeping track of. 77 degrees, partly sunny in downtown Indianapolis. Most of the rain from earlier has already moved on. Low of 60 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:32. The tropical storm is being watched by forecasters in Indianapolis because it could bring Indiana some much-needed rain. Here's Ryan Hedrick.
The storm will move north into the eastern Gulf of Mexico before reaching the Florida Panhandle Thursday.
And then brings it north into lower Ohio Valley by Friday evening, Saturday morning as a tropical remnant.
Joseph Neal from the National Weather Service says we saw the same thing happen a couple of weeks ago.
Unfortunately, we didn't get quite the rainfall that we might have otherwise gotten from that. The good news is this time models are a little bit more optimistic.
Neal says much of Indiana is in drought. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
President Joe Biden spoke at the United Nations General Assembly in New York Tuesday to talk about the problem of synthetic opioids.
Before I came to office, overdose deaths in our country are increasing by more than 30% year over year. But when I became president, I made beating opioid epidemic a central part of the unity agenda, something that our entire nation could rally around and has.
Biden recently met with world leaders while in Delaware to talk about the issue. Former President Donald Trump held a rally in Georgia today talking about bringing more manufacturing into the country. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal reports.
Former President Trump told a rally in Savannah, Georgia, that he will stop U.S. businesses from leaving the country and, in fact, that the U.S. will take other countries' jobs.
I want GE, IBM, and every other manufacturer that left us to be filled with regret and come sprinting back to our shores, and they will.
He said he'd promised companies that come back lower taxes, less regulation, but to those who don't make their products here.
The word tariff, properly used, is a beautiful word. One of the most beautiful words I've ever heard. It's music to my ears.
He promised to get the corporate tax rate down to 15%. Right now it's 21%. Vice President Harris has said she'd like to increase it to 28%. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
The average price you're paying for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $3.14, says GasBuddy.com. That's about 5 cents cheaper than your national average. And another good day in the markets. The Dow up by 83 points to 42,208. The Nasdaq increasing by 100 to 18,074. The S&P 500 up as well, finishing at up by 14 points rather, finishing at 5,732. Traffic and weather in 1 minute. It's 4:34.
Hey guys, it's Rob from my friends at Universal Windows Direct. Call my guys at Universal Windows Direct. 317-659-7574. At Universal Windows Direct, their super spacer technology makes their windows last up to 5 times longer than other Windows systems. So your windows from Universal Windows Direct perform better and last longer. Plus, Universal Windows Direct backs it up with a true 20-year warranty. And listen to this deal going on with Universal Windows Direct. Call today at 317-659-7574, and for every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free. Buy 2, get 2. Buy 4, get 4. Buy 20, get 20. There's no limit. Plus, what a deal, 0% financing for 60 months. That's right, 0% financing for 60 months. Restrictions apply. For the last windows you'll ever need, go to UWD.com, UWD.com, UWD.com.
With traffic at 4:35, here's Matt Bear.
Harrison, we're on the west side. Bad crash on northbound 465 just after the 74 ramps. And right now, 2 left lanes are blocked. Multiple vehicles are involved. 1 car is inverted. And traffic is stopped back to West 10th Street. Looking at inbound 65 stop and go MLK to Meridian Pad. Eastbound 70 slow to the south split from Belmont. East side, northbound 465 stop and go traffic from 70 up to Penn Pike. Crash north side, 86th Street. West of Allisonville Road reported as a motorcycle crash. Also, north of downtown, a report of somebody getting hit by a car. That's Capitol Avenue north of Fall Creek Parkway. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Light showers remain possible into early tonight, but mainly dry with some fog developing overnight as lows fall into the low 60s. Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a chance for a few afternoon showers. Highs only in the mid-70s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
You know, Hammer, I did think it was very strange after the would-be Trump assassin's son was contacted after the incident at Mar-a-Lago on the golf course. Somehow, I think it was like the Daily Mail, somebody got a hold of the assassin's son. And I thought it was weird to me, his response. Quote, he said his father hates Trump, as every reasonable person does, adding, I don't like him either, but he's my dad. He's had a couple of traffic tickets as far as I know. I know my dad and love my dad, but that's nothing like him. He's not a violent person. He's a hard worker and a great dad. Didn't you think that it's just kind of strange for an opening statement? You know, your dad just tried to kill the former president of the United States. And you're like, well, look, you know, I knew he hated Trump like every other reasonable person does, and I do too. That's a strange, sort of odd response.
Right. As the kids would say, it's an odd flex.
Yeah. So fast forward a couple of days later, Ryan Routh's son, Orrin Routh, arrested after investigators say they found hundreds of files of child pornography on his computer.
So the whole family is screwed up. That's what you're telling me.
You think this is, I guess they found it unrelated to what the investigation was going on. I mean, I think they were looking at everybody's computers and investigating all of the family's files and stuff like that. And oh, look what we have here. The son of the assassin is a child, is a pedophile. So,
and they didn't have like the closest relationship to begin with.
Right.
they were, I don't know if estranged is the right word, but he'd go months without hearing from his old man, not knowing where he's at, but he feels comfortable telling a newspaper publication, well, he's had traffic tickets. I don't think he'd do anything more heinous than that. Well, the FBI begs to differ. They found this dude had been planning this for months.
Yeah.
There was even a note where he was apologizing in advance for not getting the job done and puts a bounty out there on Trump's head.
You're talking about the assassin, and then the assassin's son now picked up for child porn.
Boy, sometimes the apple does not fall from the tree.
I knew immediately after, I forget who it was. It was like the Daily Mail or something. Got that quote. They got a hold of the son, and he said, yeah, my dad hates Trump, as every reasonable person does. I don't like Trump either, but I know my dad. No, you don't know your dad. And by the way, you're a pervert too.
And reasonable people do like Donald Trump. I like to think we're reasonable people, and I don't think it's asking too much to vote for the candidate that can fix the southern border, maybe be a little tougher on foreign policy, and save you some money at the gas pump and the grocery store. But these people have such TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, they can't help themselves.
Speaking of the grocery store, grocery stores could be without popular fruit within weeks as 45,000 dock workers threaten to strike. Hammer, about 2/3 of bananas arrive in the United States at East and Gulf Coast ports. And so this potential strike could bring major East Coast and Gulf Coast ports to a veritable standstill, and could lead to a giant reduced supply of bananas and other popular fruits.
How many times has this happened since Joe Biden took the oath of office? Now, I'm not going to sit here and blame the whole thing on him, but it feels like these types of things only happen in the Biden-Harris administration. Whether the ports get really backed up, or there's some sort of strike, or a labor dispute, or a supply chain issue, it all has happened in the last 3.5 years,
And it does seem like I see what you're getting at, and along with that, the workers, the dock workers, whatever the unions that are in charge, seem to have a little bit of leverage. They're demanding an 80% pay raise over 6 years. A week-long stoppage could lose the economy about $7.5 billion with a B, according to this report.
If you want this fixed, tell Joe Biden that's money that could be going to Zelensky, and I promise you, he'll be down there picking bananas with his bare hands because he's got to keep that money going to Zelensky.
I didn't know America's this. I'm looking at this thing here. I don't eat a lot of bananas. Everybody always tells me to eat a bunch of fruit, but the bananas are the bad fruit. Oh, well, bananas, potassium. I don't know.
How is potassium bad?
I have no idea. There's fruits you're supposed to eat, and there's fruits you're not supposed to eat.
Bunch of people walking around with cramps, but thank God I didn't have that banana.
But Americans do consume more bananas per capita than any other fresh fruit. I'm partial to apples, but that's just
I'm partial to banana splits. I haven't had a good banana split in a long time. I'm not going to lie. And now that we've said it out loud, I totally want one.
Time to go to Dairy Queen.
Time to go to Dairy Queen. We were talking with Jeff Bogs off air a little bit earlier when he came in studio.
Best Twitter follow ever at Not Kenny Rogers.
This new Joker movie do anything for you? Is this a go out to the theater type of movie?
This is the Lady Gaga version, right?
Right.
She's playing some character.
Folie à Deux is the
Joker
sequel
Folie
here.
à Deux. No, it's not going. I mean, the other one was really good with Joaquin Phoenix, of course.
Yes, and he's back in this
He's
one.
back in this one. No, I didn't go to the theater to watch the first one. I won't be going back to watch this one. The initial reviews from critics, it's not doing too well.
Is it a musical or not?
That's what I don't understand. I don't know.
Because, man, I got to be honest. There's only 2 musicals I've enjoyed in my entire life. South Park movie and Blues Brothers. And that is it. Do not want to see people singing. Do not want to see people dancing. That's it.
So that'll be out at the beginning. I think it comes out next week, like October 4th or something like that. 63% on Rotten Tomatoes. Here's Lady Gaga, who, what's the character?
Harley Quinn.
Yeah, Harley Quinn. Okay, here she is tossing bags of popcorn to some people that are attending a pre-screening of the movie.
Enjoy the show.
That's all you got from Lady Gaga. Enjoy the effing show. Remember when Trump got in trouble for handing out toilet paper in Puerto Rico after the hurricane?
Yes.
I'm comparing the two.
Okay.
How come Lady Gaga is praised for throwing out popcorn, but Donald Trump is excoriated for throwing out toilet paper to people that needed it?
And he wasn't just throwing it, he was like shooting three-pointers with it. Like he squared up and he got the hand behind the toilet paper and had a good follow-through on the shot. Real quick, download the latest edition of the Degenerates Next Door podcast. Rob Kendall and I have our college football picks out. Cool. We're picking the IU game. We've got the Notre Dame game, the Purdue game, the Ball State game, the big Georgia at Alabama game. We got a pro handicapper, David Stefanoff of FallOnNeverFade.com. He's hitting at a 75% clip on our show with his picks. It's free. We don't charge you for this crap. We're having a good time. So download it wherever you get your podcast. We do a college show on Thursday, the NFL college show Tuesday, NFL is Thursday. You can also get it at the shows tab, WIBC.com, the Degenerates Next Door.
Hey, if you're worried that you'll run out of money in retirement, you're not alone. 70% of Americans fear running out of money in retirement. And now that Social Security is projected to run out of money in less than 10 years, going broke in retirement, man, that could be a very real threat. Learn the strategies that can help you avoid running out of money in retirement with a free analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy.
Discover how you could get every nickel that's rightfully yours with a free, that's the key word, free custom Social Security analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy. Bill Demery is my retirement guy. He's Nigel's retirement guy. He should be yours. So if you've saved more than $200,000 and have not yet filed for Social Security, schedule that free analysis right now. 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Cindy Carrasco has spent a career holding the powerful accountable. As Indiana's Inspector General and Director of the State Ethics Commission, Cindy fought waste, fraud, and abuse wherever she found it. Cindy also combated wrongdoing in state government, which meant standing up and doing the right thing even if it wasn't popular. Now, as our state senator, Cindy Carrasco continues to fight on behalf of all Hoosiers by improving the quality of our children's education, providing tax relief for everyone, and working to make our communities safe by getting law enforcement the resources they need to fight crime, violence, and keep fentanyl away from our families. It's why Cindy has been endorsed by the Indiana Fraternal Order of Police, State Police Alliance, and the Professional Firefighters of Indiana. Because they know that Cindy has their back, and we know she has ours. Vote for more government transparency, better schools, lower taxes, and safer streets. Vote Cindy Carrasco for State Senate.
Paid for by Cindy for Senate.
Uline is here for the hard workers, for the ones rolling up their sleeves, working round the clock, and getting the job done. You're dedicated to doing what it takes to keep a business growing. Uline is dedicated to helping you make that happen. Working 7 days a week, staying fully stocked and ready to ship any of our 41,000 items the same day. Uline, your shipping and industrial supply specialists. Visit uline.com.
Hey, what's up? It's Hammer from the Hammer and Nigel show. You guys rocked it at our WIBC debate viewing party at 416 Wabash. That place is so cool. You guys were the stars of the show. And if you're looking for a place to have your next event, whether it's a wedding reception, class reunion, you name it, check out 416 Wabash. As a wedding DJ, I've played a lot of venues, and I got to tell you, 416 Wabash might be the coolest. 416wabash.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
One of my favorite things about playing high school sports is being a part of something bigger than myself.
I love being a part of a team and having a place where I belong. I'm Georgia Ferguson from East Central High School.
And I'm Jace Martin from North Harrison High School. The moments that often stand out most for student athletes happen off the playing field.
It's the team dinners, bus rides, and the music in the locker room.
It's the camaraderie, shared experiences, and being with your friends.
That sense of community helps you develop pride in who you are and what you represent.
Playing high school sports is where the values of your team, school, and community are on display for everyone to see.
It's a chance to show the best of us and make memories that will last a lifetime.
I am IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig. Be a champion of high school sports and support these memorable moments by buying a ticket to your school's athletic events. This is forging friendships. This is building community. This is your IHSAA.
Trust our family to take care of your family. Call us today for our family maintenance plan at 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
Tailgate this Sunday from 10 to 1 at the parking lot at McCarty and Church Street before the Colts-Steelers game. Presented by Real Alternatives, Jack Daniels, and Twin Peaks. Register to win tickets to the game and $100 in Colts cash from Bud Light. No purchase necessary.
Hey, Matt Bear, what's going on?
Hammer, I'm on the west side. Bad crash on northbound 465 just north of 74. Two left lanes are blocked. We have a car on that slid and traffic stop back to Washington Street. US 40 going to take a minute to get through that. Westbound 70 from downtown to the airport. Stop and go traffic. Meridian, Illinois past Belmont. Eastbound 70 also drags into the south split from Belmont. Inbound 65 stop and go. MLK to Meridian Penn. And then a crash. 86th Street west of Allisonville Road. Report of somebody getting hit by a car north of downtown Capitol Avenue, north of Fall Creek. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road at North Shadeland or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now, partly cloudy, 76 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Yeah, coming up after 5 o'clock, gangs in Chicago are very upset, Hammer.
Uh-oh.
But not at the police. Gangs are upset that the illegal immigrants are taking over their turf.
Man.
They kind of want the police to do something about it.
Even the gang members are upset at Kamala Harris's immigration policy.
Right now, though, truly the end of an era. The final full-sized location in the contiguous United States is closing down. I'm talking about Kmart.
Oh, the final Kmart closed.
The once dominant retailer. I mean, thousands of Kmarts throughout the United States in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. The final one in Bridgehampton Commons Mall in Bridgehampton, New York, shutting down. I was reading a little bit about this one. Like, didn't Martha Stewart have a Kmart line? Like a lot of stuff became really popular because of endorsements of celebrities through Kmart, like a budget line of clothes and things like that. So the final day the store is open is October 20th. I think there's one in Miami still. It's like a smaller store, and then one in the U.S. Virgin Islands, maybe Guam.
I want to go to Guam and Kmart.
Tell me if you recognize, this is the classic Kmart jingle. Back in the day.
It's a name brand, and it's a saving. It's a good day to be at Kmart. Kmart, we've got
No, I don't remember that jingle.
We were talking about this. I know you were gone for the Wish TV hit earlier today. Me and Taylor were talking about how, as kids, we would used to drive our parents nuts hiding in between the clothing hangers.
The big racks.
The racks. Oh, I go in, it turned into a different world. It's like I was going into a different dimension when I was a kid, when I'd open like the rack of all the T-shirts or suit coats or whatever and hide in there.
I tell you what, a great weekend used to be in Beech Grove, Indiana. You could go to the Kmart on the corner, and right across the street was the Ponderosa.
Ooh!
Bada bing, bada boom. And now both are gone, man.
I'll see that and raise you to Kmart in Brownsburg, then cross the street and go to the Nobles or go to the Noble Romans.
Ooh.
Where you could go up on the steps and watch them make the pizza through the big glass window.
The Noble Romans monster mascot does not get credit enough for being pretty damn frightening. Like, you look at the Noble Romans mascot, you know, the logo guy. He's got big, scary teeth and like blue fur, weird pink lips that may have blood stains on them.
Oh, that's right. Are you sure I'm talking about Godfather's pizza?
No.
Oh, no, it is. Oh, my gosh.
Right?
Oh, yeah, that would terrify somebody.
Like, now there's a cartoon version, but they also had like a guy in a suit.
Yeah.
Like, you see that guy in a suit comes up, you almost want to shoot it. Like, it's frightening, man. It's scarier than anything imaginable.
One of the original Noble Romans still in existence there, right by Ben Davis on 10th Street, West Side, baby.
All right, pick your fighter, Chicago gang members or Venezuelan gang members. We'll have that conversation when we come back. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Okay, so you understand that you need more physical activity in your life. You just don't know where you're going to find the time. It was the same with me. It was the same with my wife. She had a full-time job, but besides going on long walks, she didn't have a chance to get into the gym to build any muscle. That's all changed with Exercise Inc. I've been on the Exercise Inc. program for years. My wife just started it, and she loves it. And if you think you're too busy to exercise to be healthy, you are wrong. You show up once a week for your private 20-minute workout. I'm talking private studios, private coaches, no mirrors, no music. I feel better. I lost some weight. My wife has put on some muscle mass. All this by going to Exercise Inc. once a week for a 20-minute workout. Now, these workouts aren't easy, but they're safe enough from a football player to your 80-year-old grandma could do them. And they have plenty of locations all over town for your convenience. Exercise Inc. include, Avon, Brownsburg, Greenwood, Zionsville, and now the new one up in Fishers. Go to exerciseinc.com for more. That's exerciseinc.com. And tell them Nigel sent you.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-525-9369. 800-525-9369. 800-525-9369.
Point! Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first. And then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Discover cancer care that empowers you at Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center, with leading-edge treatment options right in your backyard.
I feel blessed and lucky. If I knew someone that was going through
what I was going through, I would definitely encourage them to participate in a clinical trial. For me, it was life-changing.
Learn more at ecommunity.com/cancer.
When it's time to renovate, it's time to call Booher, B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com, because it's about the process. It's about dealing with professionals who are with you every step of the way, communicating how things work. The best craftsmen and professionals who have been doing kitchens and bathrooms in Indianapolis for 2 decades. Talk to Booher Remodeling today about how they work and why it will work for you and your new kitchen. Call 317-852-5546, 852-5546, or online at Booher, B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, why Indiana could really use some rain and when it could show up. And the next governor of the states could be one of the highest paid in the country. That's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
2 days left for storm prep. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. As new tropical storm Helene churns through the Caribbean, expected to pass between Cuba and Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula tonight and then intensify over warm Gulf waters.
Florida's going to get hit hard. Our friends to the west in Alabama are going to receive a lot of damage. And this thing's going to continue north into Tennessee.
Chris Stallings is the emergency management director in Georgia, now under a state of emergency along with most Florida counties. Helene could make landfall in Florida's Big Bend region Thursday as a major hurricane. Visa is being sued by the Justice Department, accused of costing consumers money by punishing merchants and banks who don't use Visa's technology to process debit card transactions.
We allege Visa is a monopolist in the debit transaction markets that is violating federal antitrust law and inflicting often hidden but significant harm on American consumers and businesses.
Attorney General Merrick Garland says the company leverages the large number of transactions on its network to impose commitments that make it difficult for merchants to use alternatives. Visa's general counsel says there's an ever-expanding universe of companies offering new ways to pay for goods and services, calling the lawsuit meritless. The maker of popular diabetes and weight loss drugs, Ozempic and Wegovy, on the defense at a Senate hearing on prices much higher than in other countries. Vermont Independent Senator Bernie Sanders accusing Novo Nordisk of ripping off Americans.
If you don't act, 40,000 people a year could die. Is this acceptable to you?
Senator, any prospects of patients not getting access to the medicine they need, I think is terrifying.
But CEO Lars Jorgensen says they don't control what patients pay. Republican Senator Bill Cassidy says there's a struggle for balance between incentivizing innovation and being able to afford it. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Some rain would be nice. 76 degrees, partly cloudy downtown. Radar mostly clear. 60 is your low tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox for the Michaelis Corporation. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Rainfall amounts for the month are about an inch or two below average, says Joe Neal with the National Weather Service.
And unfortunately, when we do get this dry, it's not necessarily just a matter of making up that deficit. You really need multiple soaking rainfalls over the course of several events.
A tropical storm in the Gulf of Mexico could reach the state by Friday, remnants of it at least, which could bring several inches of rain. It would be helpful. A woman from South Carolina killed 3 teenage girls from Fishers. Ryan Hedrick reports.
3 years ago, Melissa Ann Parker was driving a stolen Hummer high on drugs when police say she collided head-on with the car carrying Elle and Belle Gaddis and their friends, Brianna Foster and Macy Waltz. Foster was the only one who survived the crash.
I feel better knowing that at least for the next 21 years, she won't be out there able to hurt anybody else.
On Monday, Ann Parker was sentenced to 25 years in prison. The family is not happy about the sentence. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A $250 fine and your car impounded for at least a month. That is a possible punishment for anyone involved in street takeovers in Indianapolis if a proposal winds up getting passed that the Indy City County Council looked at last night. Eastsider Debbie Abell would like some harsher punishments, at least on the money side.
They could care less about $250. It's not hard for them to raise $250. You take their car away, they're going to be hurting.
The proposal will be discussed by a committee tomorrow. And Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb's successor could become one of the highest paid governors in America. Here's Wes Woodward.
Indiana's top elected officials will all see a significant pay bump in the next year. Included is a pay raise for 6 of Indiana's executive leaders: governor, lieutenant governor, secretary of state, attorney general, state treasurer, and state comptroller. Those offices will see pay raises between 44 and 66%. In 2007, the last time the General Assembly weighed in on salaries for elected officials were passed in a separate, independently vetted bill. Lawmakers are scheduled to convene in January to draft Indiana's 2-year budget. Wes Woodward, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Pat Sullivan here with Michaela from the Michaelis Corporation. If you see mold growth in your home or business, you need to get it checked out by a professional. Michaela, why should someone with mold call Michaelis?
Michaelis is a local and family-owned business for over 39 years. Our inspections are free and we're IICRC certified. Michaelis will sample the mold and has full remediation services if needed. Many times it is not needed, but we want to ensure it is not a dangerous type of mold.
It's important to know what you're dealing with. And should it be something that is a problem, does Michaelis help with the insurance process for mold remediation?
Absolutely. We handle working with insurance throughout the process to give you peace of mind.
If you suspect mold, call the Michaelis Corporation. Water, storms, fire, and mold. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Text or call 844-FIXED-INDY. That's 844-FIXED-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison crash clear west of side, northbound 465 after I-74. Still a little bit slow at the back of that delay. Rockville Road, Washington Street area, but we are clearing out nicely. Inbound 65 stop and go 29th at 2 Meridian Penn. Those northbound lanes are tight from the north split up to 21st. Westbound 70 from downtown jammed from the south split out to Belmont. Eastbound 70 stop and go from Tibbs Avenue into the south split. North side, eastbound 465 stop and go traffic Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance offers you auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit progressive.com today. That's progressive.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. And here's the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Cloudy showers remain possible into early tonight, but mainly dry with some fog developing overnight as lows fall into the low 60s. Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a chance for a few afternoon showers. Highs only in the mid-70s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
Well, Hammer, Chicago is about to go up in flames like an active war zone.
It hasn't already?
Not yet, but this is a dire warning, not from law enforcement officials, not from Antifa, not for radical progressive activists. This is according to actual Chicago gang members. Chicago, quote, about to go up in flames like an active war zone. The gangs there in Chicago, furious that Venezuelan gangs imported from flights all throughout the United States.
The migrant flights.
Yes, the migrant flights. Chicago gangs are furious that Venezuelan gangs are coming and trying to take over. Here's a couple of gang members, followed by some audio. The New York Post was covering this.
America has allowed gangs to enter our country.
The migrants that are coming, they're taking over every block right now.
The city of Chicago is going to go up in smoke. It's going to go up in flame.
Gangs in Chicago are angry over the influx of migrants and criminals in their city. They say money that should be going to the African-American community on the south side is instead going to what they call non-citizens, and warn that turf wars between Chicago's gangs and groups like Venezuela's Tren de Aragua could see Chicago, quote, go up in flames. We spoke to a number of young, hardcore gang members, as well as gang elders who have retired from the life, and just regular citizens who are very much part of the community. And they're all furious at the estimated $500 million that's reportedly been funneled toward new migrants in Chicago since 2022.
Do you hear that number, by the way? What'd she say? $500 I'm sorry, $500 million, $500 billion? What'd she say there at the end, Allison?
And they're all furious at the estimated $500 million.
Oh, my gosh. $500 million to the influx of illegal immigrants being flown in to that city. Now, I think if you're Donald Trump, like, what's the position here?
We support American gangs. Kamala's open border policies.
Letting the Venezuelan gangs take over. I like my gangs to be American.
MS-13 Mexican gangs in Chicago, more so than the Venezuelan gangs.
I don't want any of them.
I don't either.
I really don't.
But Allison, let me defer to you.
Oh, boy, here we go.
If you had to choose one, right? You pick one and the other side goes away forever. What do you want in your neighborhood? Chicago gangs could be a little MS-13 mixed in there.
Maybe with some Americans as well.
Sure. They do drug running and they also do murders. Or do you want the Venezuelan gangs who do those things, but they also feel like your house is their house and they could take it over like you saw in Aurora, Colorado?
Oh, dear.
So which one? You have to pick, Allison, and the other side goes away forever. Chicago gangs, Venezuelan gangs.
This is a trick question, I feel like.
Just say Venezuelan.
Okay.
Gangs,
No, say
go away.
Chicago.
Oh, I don't know. Which one will leave me alone more?
I feel like the Chicago gangs, if they don't rape and kill you, will leave you alone more.
That's a big if.
But that's the if.
But they're not known to break into your house and squat as much as the Venezuelans have.
I misspoke. I would say, yeah, Venezuelan gangs, I want out of there.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So I love it when Nigel gives his approval to it. You'll go along with that immediately. But when I explain it to you, you have trepidation.
You both went for it.
I misunderstood what Hammer was saying. You know, like, yeah, come on, give me American gangs for sure.
Kamala Harris, we're gonna make gangs great again. We're gonna bring gangs back to America. Venezuelan gangs.
The sucking of the spit. Meanwhile, in Pennsylvania at a rally, Donald Trump talking about the rampant illegal immigration.
But reckless migration policy can change it very quickly, and it can destroy everything in its way, just like we've seen in London and Paris and Minneapolis. Look at what's happened in London. Look what's happening in Paris. If Kamala Harris wins this election, she will flood Pennsylvania cities and towns with illegal migrants from all over the world. And Pennsylvania will never be the same. You will never be the same. When I'm president, all migrant flights to Pennsylvania will stop immediately. By the way, all migrant flights.
Thank you.
Not only to Pennsylvania, everywhere.
Thank you. That's what I was waiting for. Listen, I don't care where they're going. Stop migrant flights. We have a process for immigration in this country. Now, if you want to have a conversation about ways to make that easier, okay, we can have that conversation. But full stop, no migrant flights. What the hell?
I think my favorite Trump is like affable, off the cuff, mixing in with the commoner Trump. Did you see he was at this grocery store in Pennsylvania and he whipped out a Hyundai, whipped out a Benjamin to help out a mom that was buying groceries.
Take the rest of it. Here, it's going to go down a little bit. It just went down $100. We'll do that for you from the White House, all right?
Thank you.
All right, bye. Nice seeing you, everybody. Beautiful. They're your kids?
Yeah, they are.
Perfecto. Perfecto. 3 for 3. Bye, everybody.
You know, Rob and Casey were having an interesting discussion this morning. They played that audio, and they were talking about how much do you think President Trump, as former president, he's not the president right now, obviously, but how much cash do you think he has on him at any given time in his wallet, on his person? Or did somebody, I think you watched that video, some staffer gave him 100.
I think that was a pre-planned deal.
Okay.
We're going to be going to the grocery store. I want to pass out Hyundais. Make sure we have Hyundais. I don't think he carries that much, because what if he gets, robbed or something?
Stop. The president's not going to get robbed.
He's almost been shot twice, Nigel. You don't think he can be robbed?
What, like some guy just walks up to him with a ski mask over his face and says, "Give me all you got."
Opens fire on Secret Service and then takes Trump's wallet. Look at the masterminds. Look at the masterminds that have gotten dangerously close. You've even brought it up. We're not talking about Jason Bourne here.
Right.
We're talking about some of the biggest booger eaters America has to offer. So you think it's completely out of left field that he could be robbed?
I also think that whoever was the staffer that gave him the $100 to give to the mom, that staffer ain't seen that $100 back.
No.
That was out of his own pocket.
Right.
I don't think that was out of Trump's pocket.
He's going to turn in some sort of form like a get your money
like
back.
They do here. The taxes taken out of it or something like that.
And he ain't ever going to see that again. Oh. And my favorite part about that, though, I've seen Democrats going on social media going, that's a campaign violation. He's buying votes. That's what they took from it. Not the fact that people can't afford groceries, but the fact that Trump wanted to help with it. That's what drives him nuts.
What do you call forgiving college debt? Would that be considered a form of buying votes, Joe Biden?
Right.
Real quick, I wanted to get your input on this. I don't know if you saw racing commentator, former IndyCar driver Danica Patrick has endorsed Donald Trump.
She's kind of gone all in for the old man here.
There she is speaking at a campaign, some sort of surrogate event in Vegas where Tulsi Gabbard was speaking. I believe RFK Jr. was speaking.
Right.
And then she started, remember a couple of months ago, she was talking to the crowd how she got raked over the coals for going to that Turning Point event, the Charlie Kirk conservative Turning Point event in Phoenix. And then she posted a couple of pictures, and that story starts here.
And I'm not going to lie, red is my favorite color. I don't wear it because I'm Republican. I wear it because it is my favorite color. It just works well. So the photos definitely had a color theme. And I posted these photos and I said, I love America. Let's make America great again. People looked at me like I was like some radical right-wing MAGA, right? Like MAGA's got this awful connotation to so many people. And you know what? All it did was light a fire. I was like, I will not be judged to live in America, be an American, be a proud American, say I love America, and want to make America great again. I won't be judged for it. In fact, instead of quieting down, I'm going to get louder.
Wow.
I love it. I love it. And again, this just goes to show who the current left is. Listen when they tell you something. They were perfectly fine with Danica Patrick being naked and doing drugs with Aaron Rodgers and going to Burning Man. But the minute she shows up to a Charlie Kirk event, hot damn, we have to burn her at the stake.
I feel like the cancel culture in terms of support for Republicans or Donald Trump has subsided a little bit. I mean, Danica Patrick is a legitimate mainstream person in the racing industry who is on, I believe, NBC. She commentates on NBC for races, and she's very well known. So for her to stand up and say that, I think that says something about the current state of where we're at in this culture right now in terms of politics.
Danica Patrick, Instagram all-star.
Oh, yeah. Did you see her at Burning Man?
Burning Man, like out on boat trips.
Hello.
Like she is not afraid to put the racing tires out there, so to speak.
Do you want to do a reason to drink tonight?
Please.
Remember Octomom? Do you remember Octomom?
Oh, yeah. She was the chick that dropped all the shorties.
Nadia.
Yeah.
She now goes by Natalie. Nadia Suleiman gave birth to 8 babies back in 2009.
Thus the Octomom.
She's now a grandma. So
one of those kids had a kid?
We dove into the Hammer and Nigel archives and recall that back in 2009, she had an edition of MTV Cribs.
Yo, welcome to MTV Cribs. Today we visit an overnight celebrity whose ovaries be working overtime.
Hey, what's up, MTV? This is Octomom. Come on in and let me show you my new crib. It's almost as big as my uterus. Ouch! Sorry, just had another baby. Mom, put this one somewhere, will ya? He's cute. He'll be at least worth 15 grand. Okay, over here's the baby's room. I don't really go in there much, though. Let's pry too much. Here's my office, the bedroom. This is where the magic happens. I get in vitro in this 3 times a week. Gotta get that money. And check out my kitchen. Look at that refrigerator. Nothing but placentas and cristal. Ballin', we be making it rain babies up in this. Later in TV, it's time for you to get off my doorstep, just like you were the CPS.
Goodness gracious.
Just like you're the CPS. Okay.
Allison, if we made a shirt for the Hammer and Nigel Show merchandise store that had a picture of your face on it, it said, "These ovaries are in overdrive," would you approve of that?
Can we go back to the gang question?
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
Looking at a stall coming out of the north split on northbound 65. Right lane is closed. Backing us up onto westbound is 70 for about a half a mile. Southeast side crash northbound 465 after I-74. South side eastbound 465 stop and go before 72 the White River. Eastbound is 70 stop and go traffic before Belmont to the south split. And we have a crash going westbound as 70 before Harding Street, blocking the left lane, stopping us all the way back to the north split. Traffic sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance offers you auto, home, and commercial auto insurance plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today. That's Progressive.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Alex tweets at us at Hammer and Nigel. Never thought I'd see the day where I actively root for Chicago gangbangers. And that's kind of where I'm at. If I have to choose Chicago gangbangers or Venezuelan gangbangers, let's go Chicago. Right now, 77 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Are you okay with this? Next.
Hands down, Mark Diddy is the only real estate expert I trust and recommend with the sale of my home. Listen to what Mark from Danville had to say. I finished building my new perfect home out of state and needed out of my old place quickly. Plus, to cover the cost of the new home, I needed a big price. Mark Diddy was the answer. Home sold in 3 days on the market over my asking price.
Mark Diddy is the only real estate agent that we trust and recommend here on the Hammer and Nigel Show. And it's because of the guarantee. The guarantee is a game changer. Mark Diddy guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. You pick your move date, no long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. Call Mark Diddy today, 317-755-4232, or go to markdiddy.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdiddy.com.
Cindy Carrasco has spent a career holding the powerful accountable. As Indiana's Inspector General and Director of the State Ethics Commission, Cindy fought waste, fraud, and abuse wherever she found it. Cindy also combated wrongdoing in state government, which meant standing up and doing the right thing even if it wasn't popular. Now, as our state senator, Cindy Carrasco continues to fight on behalf of all Hoosiers by improving the quality of our children's education, providing tax relief for everyone, and working to make our communities safe by getting law enforcement the resources they need to fight crime, violence, and keep fentanyl away from our families. It's why Cindy has been endorsed by the Indiana Fraternal Order of Police, State Police Alliance, and the Professional Firefighters of Indiana. Because they know that Cindy has their back, and we know she has ours. Vote for more government transparency, better schools, lower taxes, and safer streets. Vote Cindy Carrasco for State Senate.
Paid for by Cindy for Senate.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9379. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9379. That's 800-575-9379. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Indiana Foundation Service. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at indianafoundation.com.
Point! Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at Metamucil.com.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Here's great news, Indy. Rhino Shield is partnered with Green Sky Financing to offer no payments until 2026 for qualified buyers. Call Rhino Shield at 888-RHINO-41.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard air dealer in Indianapolis.
Are you
really okay with this? Are you okay? Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah!
Hammer will start right here in Indy. A man was arrested after allegedly waving his gun at a KFC because his food was cold. This happened on Crawfordsville Road in Speedway, 5 o'clock Sunday. Are you okay with this?
I mean, who hasn't been there before, right? You get your KFC order, you take a bite, you can't wait to feel the hot taste of those herbs and spices, and it's cold. And then you get your gun out and you threaten someone's life. I've seen it a million times. I've done it a million times.
The KFC employee told police the guy was complaining because his food was cold, but he was late picking up his food, so that's why it was cold.
And if you read the police report a little further, the suspect then started making threats saying he was, quote, involved with a gang and from South Central. The man was arrested and charged with intimidation with a deadly weapon.
Good.
No, I'm not okay with this. I love KFC, and I've gone to that KFC quite a bit. I know exactly where it is. It's one of the good KFCs. And I say that because KFC is kind of like Dairy Queen. There are a lot of locations.
I understand.
Some are good, some are not good, right? Like in Beech Grove, when I was growing up, there were 2 Dairy Queens. One was good, one was not good. Same thing with KFC. This is a good one, but then you got some numbnuts going in there, taking out his gun, threatening to put a cap in somebody because his chicken was cold. No, not okay with it.
Now we've got Choose Your Own Adventure because we've got a couple minutes left here, Hammer. Where do you want to go next here with this?
Let's go to college football here. Alabama, Georgia.
Okay, the head coach, Alabama football, reacting to Donald Trump attending the Alabama-Georgia game this weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of celebrity-type people here, people that want to come be a part of, what's happening on game day. It's going to be, everyone's watching, and so, be great to have everyone who wants to come watch be here. But yeah, it is kind of cool that we have a lot of people who want to come be a part of the atmosphere and add to the excitement energy that the game will bring.
Just for reference, before you start, he was specifically asked about Donald Trump attending the game.
Yes.
Which, okay, he gave a great answer. You go ahead. I'm sorry. I think it was fine.
It was fine. And listen, this is big boy football this Saturday. Georgia at Alabama.
About time.
There's probably 20 NFL players on that field. Some guys that will play in the NFL one day might not even get in the game on Saturday. That's how good these teams are.
Wow.
Like, with all due respect to IU in Maryland or Purdue in Nebraska who play this weekend, you watch those games, it's like a different sport compared to what Georgia at Alabama is going to be. And Trump's going to be there. You're going to have a lot of former players. This is it. Like, these are two powerhouses going at each other. So, yeah, man, I'm okay with it. And we've got free picks and breakdowns of that game on this week's Degenerate Next Door podcast. All right, you ready to do a little caller roulette, Nige?
No. Is it Tuesday already?
It is Tuesday. Let's do it. 239-9393. That's our number. Anything goes. Whatever you want to talk about. If you want to talk about the war in Israel, if you want to talk about Donald Trump, if you want to talk about which gang you would like to see in your neighborhood, or anything in between, 239-9393. Responsible radio shows screen out your phone call. They find out what you want to talk about. We don't do that here.
No.
Allison's just going to get your name, and we are going to fly blind. All we ask is you do not swear, and you keep it brief. 239-9393. Your call's coming up right after the news with Harrison Silcox.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Indiana is in need of some more rain. 76 degrees, just a few clouds over the monuments. Radar mostly clear other than a few small showers. 60 is your low tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. Indiana's experiencing very dry conditions and currently recovering from a drought is not as simple as it seems. Ryan Hedrick tells you why.
Depending on where you're at in the state, we're about 1 to 2 inches below the average rainfall for this time of year.
You really need multiple soaking rainfalls over the course of several events to kind of start to alleviate that concern.
Joseph Neild from the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says there's a tropical storm in the Gulf of Mexico that could be here in Indiana by Friday.
A little uncertain still necessarily how far north those are going to get.
Every little bit helps. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Georgia's getting ready for Tropical Storm Helene.
The heaviest impacts for us will be in southern Georgia, and we expect those to enter the state early with heavy rain and strong wind.
Chris Stallings, director of Georgia Emergency Management. Several communities in Florida have already declared a state of emergency. That storm expected to reach the state of Florida by Thursday. The Justice Department's filed an antitrust lawsuit against Visa. Attorney General Merrick Garland says they're in breach of Sections 1 and 2 of the Sherman Antitrust Act.
We allege that to maintain this monopoly power, Visa deploys a web of unlawful anti-competitive agreements to penalize merchants and banks for using competing payment networks.
Visa's general counsel, Julie Rottenberg's defended the company, saying they do secure and reliable work. Indiana's top elected officials could all get a pay bump next year. Wes Woodward reports.
The raises drafted in the last few days of the 2023 budget process with no public discussion were passed on the last day of the session, containing language in the budget bill drafted after public hearings. For example, the Indiana governor's annual salary will jump 65% from $134,000 to $221,000, making Eric Holcomb's successor one of the highest paid governors in the nation. In January, lawmakers are scheduled to convene to draft Indiana's next two-year budget. Wes Woodward, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The average price you're paying for a gallon of gas in the state today, $3.14, says GasBuddy.com. It's about 5 cents cheaper than your national average. Matt Bear, how are the roads?
Southeast side, Harrison, a crash northbound 465 after the I-74 interchange. Okay, the right lane of the main line, the main part of 465 is blocked, and the left lane of the exit to South Shadeland Avenue is blocked. Right now, traffic stop and go past Southeastern Avenue. Westbound 70 downtown, stopped from the south split past West Street. That's because of an earlier crash that has cleared. In the meantime, backed up on northbound 65-70 back to the north split onto westbound 70 almost to rural. Inbound 65 stop and go MLK to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 stop and go traffic Belmont to the south split. And then we have a stall going northbound 65 after the north split that's blocking the right lane, adding to that delay back to rural on westbound 70. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road North Shadeland or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Light showers remain possible into early tonight, but mainly dry with some fog developing overnight as lows fall into the low 60s. Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a chance for a few afternoon showers. Highs only in the mid-70s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Buckle up. Anything can happen here.
Oh, hell yeah. Let it ride. Let it ride.
Yeah. Hammer and Nigel present Caller Roulette.
This is where things can get sideways real quick. We don't screen the calls. We just take you live. Allison, do we have the dump button ready to go? Thumbs up.
All right.
Let's get it. Southside Tom gets us off and running. What's up, man?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. I'm sitting here on a breezeway at our house in Lower Homecroft right now, watching the rain come in buckets. So I'll let you know there's a little rain down here.
Okay.
Got a comment, then I have a question, especially for you, Hammer.
Okay.
The comment I got on these guys doing the spinners out there on Brookville Road in English, it's very simple. One of those shredders or car mashers they have on a trailer, on a flatbed trailer. Bring it out there that night and smash a few of those cars and then drop it off there and say, you can have it back now, guys. And see if that
like that.
a problem.
I'm good with that.
So that's a suggestion for them. Now, Hammer, which Beach Grove Dairy Queen did you like better? One on Albany/Troy or the one over on Thompson Road? I have to know.
I had friends that worked at the Albany one, and you should have never gone there.
We did once.
Okay, once.
I hear you.
Yeah, the Thompson one was the good one, and the place where my friends worked at was the one that you should probably avoid like the plague.
Yeah, and it's closed. It's been boarded up for years now, so
yeah,
justice is served.
Everything is like closed over there now. It was by a marsh, so there's no marsh, there's no Dairy Queen anymore, and
it's a food desert.
There is a cool ice cream convenience store right across the street from it, though, now. Jeff, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show. What's up, man?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Look, I'm going to talk fast so I can get it in. About 1982, a buddy of mine has a girlfriend. She's going out of town. She says, hey, can you come over and watch my black lab? It's about a year old. He's like, yeah, I'd already put a doggy door in. It's just feed and watered in the morning. I'll see you when you get back Sunday night. She gets home Sunday night, and she calls him and says, oh, my God, get over here. So he's freaking out, thinking something happened to the dog. He gets over there, and the dog has this white rabbit in its mouth, and it's flipping it around like a rag doll. There's mud and dirt all over the house. They grab the rabbit out of there. They put it in the sink. They wash it up, and as they're washing it, even got a blow dryer out and fluffed it all up. She said, look, my 90-year-old woman that lives next door, it's her rabbit. Somehow the dog got out. You're going to have to take it back over. They wait till it gets dark. He jumps the fence, puts it back in the cage. They go to bed. The next morning, everybody in the neighborhood has woke up to this woman screaming at 90 years old. Goes out, and she walks over. They walk out, and his girlfriend says, oh, Marjorie, I'm sorry, did your rabbit die? She said, yeah, it died 3 days ago. I had buried it in the backyard, and it's back in the cage. True story.
Oh, we believe it.
I don't believe it's a true story. I think it's hilarious.
We had Trey Yingst on this program earlier.
Fox News war correspondent, the best in the world.
Embedded in a war zone. And we just had 2 minutes of the dead rabbit story. Debbie, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show.
Hi. How are you?
Good.
Long-time listener, caller.
Thank you.
A couple things. First of all, I am a fairly high-level HR leader in a healthcare organization, and I would love to be a consultant on your show.
Yeah, right.
And I have the stories. Let me tell you, I have the stories. Secondly, I just have to tell Nigel, I don't know what it is. This guy called you one day, and he was talking about, you were talking about twins. I have identical twin boys.
Okay.
And nobody that called, you asked people that had twins or were a twin to call. Nobody that called had twins or were a twin. But this guy was talking about this funeral and about these identical twin aunts or something. And he kept saying, there she stood, there she lay.
Yes.
Stood, there she saying laid. That the rest of the show, and I cannot stop thinking about how funny that was.
I remember that as well. Yes.
So
another awful joke. There she stood, there she laid.
Stood, there she lay. Anyway.
A twin
anyway,
was
I'm available as a consultant, and I don't make as much as the governor. So.
Well, God bless you, Debbie. Thank you so much.
Hey, you too. Have a great afternoon.
You too. There she laid.
There she stood.
There she laid.
We're gonna have to find that. That was another one of those where I was just...
Took like 5 minutes to get to the punchline, and then that's what we got. Jeff, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show.
Hey, I want to say your Beach Grove Walmart sucks.
Come on.
I went through the self-checkout, right, because I had like maybe one or two registers open, and there was a line like down the aisle. I'm like, screw this. I'll go check myself out. So I go, I pay. You know, there's a woman there watching you and stuff. So when you leave, the exit is like maybe 10 feet away.
Right.
And this woman's there, and she's like, sir, I need to see your receipt, sir. And I'm like, yeah, I've got my receipt. It's in my wallet. I said, I'm not going to play your game. I said, if you don't trust me, then hire more cashiers. I said, I checked myself out. I paid for it. She goes, sir, I still need to see your receipt. And I just walked out. And there was a cop sitting right outside because apparently they have cops there now pretty much 24/7.
Oh, there's a little station inside the Walmart where they take people into if they start creating a ruckus inside the Walmart.
There's a cell.
And Jeff, true story, maybe it's the same woman. I once tried to videotape the ruckus taking place, and the woman yelled at me and said, "You're not allowed to do that," to which I said, "Bull something."
Right.
They've got it's like the Eagles, like the Philadelphia Eagles have a jail cell, like a police station down at the bottom of their stadium.
Yeah, right.
So it's Walmart's got their own cell.
I don't know if it's a cell, but there's a little area.
It's a holding facility. I understand.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you, Jeff. Let's go to Cody. Cody, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show.
Hey, fellas. Hope all is well with you guys. I have a little bit more serious of a question regarding the election. Whichever side wins, do you think it'll be a peaceful transfer of power?
Yes.
I think it depends on how it goes down. Like, honestly, if you go to bed and Trump is up 8% in Pennsylvania and you wake up 6 hours later and he's trailing because at 3 o'clock in the morning, everything came in, I think it's only natural to have questions, and I'd kind of want somebody to have questions.
Yeah, but that's different than a peaceful or a violent demonstration.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's going to be demonstrations if something like that happens for sure.
Right. Depends on what your definition of peaceful transition is. Like, if they think there are shenanigans, I expect protest. I expect recounts. Courts are going to get involved. That's fine. Do I think somebody's going to get burned at the stake? No, I do not. Ted. What's up, Ted? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. I'm just going to build on what the last caller was talking about, but preface it with, I'm so glad that we live in a state where our governor is going to be so well paid and it's a Republican state, and we pay the highest gas taxes, and we keep on funneling money into an education system that teaches our children to hate us and hate themselves and hate their country. And you know what's going to happen this next election? I'll tell you what's not going to happen. Donald Trump's not going to be president. They're going to kill him. They're going to start a civil war. They're going to put us in war. And after that happens, and after Donald Trump isn't president, you know what's going to happen? All these good Republicans, we're all going to go to work the next day. But if Donald Trump does become president, which is not going to happen, they're going to burn the cities. They're going to burn the streets, and we're going to take it. And we're going to go to work, keep on paying our taxes. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it.
Hey, man, don't apologize at all. Like, I totally get it. There's nothing worse than a wishy-washy, weak Republican, because at least you know what you're getting with the Democrats, right? You know that they're lunatics, they're out there, but the Republicans who are supposed to be on the total opposite side of that, some of these guys are such weenies, men and women.
And the other thing is about the attempts on Trump's life, it's now legitimate. I understand a third attempt might be, maybe it might not be so out of the realm of possibility.
Maybe it's already happened and we don't know.
Yeah, I know, exactly. So I understand his sentiment. I don't think the cities are going to burn, but I do think there will be definite demonstrations if it's close, if there is any sort of
shenanigans,
or disparity between the votes.
Kamala Harris doesn't have an appeal to the communities to where they would want to burn the cities for her, right? I just don't think she has that appeal. Like, that's not going to happen. Let's go to Dan. Dan the man, what's up?
Yeah, Solomon was a wise man, and he said in Ecclesiastes 8:13 about crime, he said, when the sentence for a crime is not quickly carried out, the hearts of the people are filled with schemes to do wrong. And that's what's wrong with our country today. Thank you. Goodbye.
You got it. Thank you, Dan. Are you ready for the closer, Nige?
I don't know.
Crazy Larry, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show. What's up, brother?
Hey, not so crazy. I'm going to lighten it up a little bit. I got a chicken joke.
Bring it.
You ready?
Bring it.
Why did the chicken lay his egg on the line?
Why?
Don't guess once at least.
I didn't even understand what
Say that again.
Why did the chicken lay his egg on the line?
Why?
Because he wanted to lay it on the line. Anyway, I was down at the council last night, and there was these Palestinian protesters down there. Jeez. I got sick, and I had to go and throw up because one of our councilmen had that garb on, the Palestinian with the mask and everything. What are those people thinking about? The Israelis are going to handle their business, and I don't blame them. They got dogged out during the Holocaust and the purge and getting put in the frying ovens. If I was an Israeli citizen, the minute somebody threatened me with that again, I would do it, put an end to them right away. I don't care who objected to it. I mean, these people.
Yeah, I will say Larry has a point. I mean, look, I think the Israelis are holding back.
Yeah, they've shown some restraint for sure.
Somebody would look at Gaza and say, no, they haven't. But look what's going on with Hezbollah right now.
The exploding pagers is just a sample
yes.
of the hell we could bring you. Well, that's a pretty uplifting way to end Caller Roulette, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, great idea.
Turned into the Def Comedy Jam at one point. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Are you struggling with bad feet? Hi, this is Phoebe, and at the Good Feet store, we hear a lot about foot, knee, hip, and back pain. I'd like you to hear what Kelsey, a kinesiologist, has to say about the Good Feet Arch Support System.
As an exercise specialist, I've seen all kinds of things that people try to put in their shoes to get out of pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that they support all 4 arches in the foot.
So, did you know you had 4 arches in each foot? Most shoes and inserts only support 1. Maybe that's the reason all the remedies you've tried in the past just didn't work.
When the foot's placed in the ideal position, everything else up the kinetic chain works better. You have better balance, more energy, you're gonna feel better. Being able to move freely and out of pain means everything to me, and good movement starts with the feet. feet.
We're located in Castleton by the Fashion Mall or in Greenwood just off the 65. Learn more at goodfeet.com. Good Feet Arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book an appointment for your free personalized fitting at goodfeet.com or just stop in. Walk-ins are welcome. Helping people live pain-free, 2 feet at a time.
Hey, so if you worry that you're going to run out of money in retirement, you're definitely not alone. Listen to this number. 70% of Americans fear running out of money in retirement more than they fear death itself. That's nuts. And now that Social Security is projected to run out of money in less than 10 years, going broke in retirement is a very real possibility. So you need to learn the strategies that can help you avoid running out of money in retirement with a free analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy.
Discover how you could get every nickel that's rightfully yours with a free, that's the key word, free custom Social Security analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy. Bill Demery is my retirement guy. He's Nigel's retirement guy. He should be yours. So if you've saved more than $200,000 and have not yet filed for Social Security, schedule that free analysis right now. 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
After college, Mike Braun could have gone anywhere. He chose to move back to his hometown of Jasper, Indiana. There, he started a small business, kept his head down, worked hard, and turned his small business into a national company, employing thousands of Hoosiers. He'll use that same determination for us. Lead the charge on lowering the price of gas, groceries, energy. Take on the big healthcare companies to increase healthcare access and lower costs. And Mike will improve education across our state by increasing school choice. Mike will make our streets safer, back the blue, and stop illegal immigration if the federal government won't. Because Braun believes every Hoosier should be safe and secure in their community. As governor, Braun will continue working for Hoosiers. Because when you're Mike, working hard is just what you do. Mike Braun, governor. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-444-9336, 800-444-9336, or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-444-9336.
Progressive Insurance offers you auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today. That's Progressive.com.
Friendly reminder to change your filter. Head on over to our website at familyhvac.net for some of the best pricing on filters around.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Head to the WIBC contest page and enter for your chance to win 2 tickets to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra's brand new show on Thursday, December 19th at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. And while supplies last, you can purchase tickets for just $49.99 plus fees.
What's going on, Matt?
Looking at northbound 465 on the southeast side, crash pushed to the right shoulder after 74. Stop and go traffic back to Emerson. Southbound 465 stop and go from 72 Brookville Road. Eastbound 70 slows from Harding Street into the south split, and on the north side, eastbound 465 stop and go traffic at Keystone Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
77 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Alan on Twitter, at Hammer and Nigel story. White Rabbit story, freaking hilarious. It was awesome. I don't think I've ever seen Nigel laugh so hard.
I'd never heard it before, but I think it's a common joke. Yeah, what did you think of that caller roulette edition that we just went through? That we trudged, we dredged, we sludged through the mud.
I think it was pretty much on par with every other caller roulette we've done. You're going to get some people that want to talk about the election. You're going to get some people that want to talk about dead rabbits. You're going to get some people that want to talk about my Walmart. It's just what you get, man. You break a few eggs when you make that caller roulette omelet.
Oh, you got to go back and listen to it. I love that there was a guy that called up to say your Beech Grove Walmart sucks. And you were offended by it.
Well,
and
yeah.
I understand it. I understand the...
Look, just because a baby beats people with shampoo one time and a bigger woman with fast food grease stains and a scooter gets up and fights one time, you get a bad rap. If it were so bad, why would Will Ferrell have showed up there? Will Ferrell went to the Beech Grove Walmart, and it's in his new documentary thing. So back off.
Okay, everybody calm down here.
All right, coming up next.
Settle down.
Early mail-in voting. Maybe some good news for the GOP. We'll talk about that when we come back. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
And he went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even